or pre-owned car will be ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. And right now, get summer clearance pricing even as you shop from home. It's fast, easy, and smart. Try it today at richardshonda.com.
ACI Facility Support provides facility maintenance and construction services for hundreds of clients in South Louisiana. Visit ACI Facility Support today to find out why they are the preferred choice. One call can solve all of your building problems. Contact ACI Facility Support, 383-3434.
Many people are injured and can't afford to get the treatment they need because insurance companies won't pay until a case is closed. I'm attorney Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
104.5 WNXX Jackson, 104.9 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Thursday, August 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 93. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Athletics Executive Chef Michael Johnson joins us at 7:30 to answer your Munchies questions. Get them in the huddle or on the YouTube Live. Father of LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase, Jimmy Chase, will be here at 8 a.m. Former big leaguer Chad Durbin joins us at 8:30, and Sean Kelly joins us from the NBA bubble at 9:30. You can follow today's show inside the 104.5 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. By joining us on our YouTube live stream on the 104.5 ESPN page. Make sure you subscribe and get over to the Off the Bench YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well and set your notifications for new content that is posted daily. OTB Hour Number 1 starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Over at it Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria online, 1045ESPN.com. We are driven every single day by All-Star Toyota. You can find us on your smart speakers. You can also hit us on YouTube. Remember, the ESPN station will be live until 10 a.m. with Off the Bench. Anything you hear here over the next couple of hours, like Jimmy Chase, Jamar's dad, going to stop by 1 hour from now. Jimmy in the news as he was talking to 247 Sports, telling the reporter there that Jamar is locked in on his junior season and looking forward to playing his third year, his draft-eligible season of college football. We'll talk to Jimmy coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning. Your food questions for the executive chef over at LSU, Michael Johnson, coming up 7:30 this morning. I'm actually taking off on an offshore fishing trip on Saturday, so I'll ask the chef on some maybe some advice once we get out to the blue water. 8:30 this morning, we'll talk to Chad Durbin. Big night for the Nolas last night in Major League Baseball. We'll tell you all about it coming up inside of your headlines. Jimmy Ott tweeting about one of those Nolas last night. Looked like Ott was well served and celebrating possibly another win for the Game Time crew. Game Time?
Yeah, you got it right.
There you go.
Game Time, Jimmy Ott, 6 to 8.
What time is it?
Game time. Ooh.
How we feeling, big fella?
Feel like you buried the lead a little bit. How am I feeling? You know how I'm feeling today, Jordy? I'm feeling unlimited. I'm feeling good today. My guy, Rusty Wilson, he's changed my mindset. It's Pelicans game day. That's what I meant by burying the lead. 12:30, Pels Kings from the bubble. The same game that was scheduled to be played when all this madness went down and the NBA shut down. Well, it's finally happening now. And another great night for the Pelicans as far as games they were not involved in last night. So we'll break all that down, get you ready for the game today. Like I said, I'm feeling unlimited. I hope the Pelicans are feeling unlimited today as well.
Here are your headlines on this Thursday, August 6th.
Where's the 5th? How about that?
Headlines on Off the Bench.
New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson, after playing a total of 29 minutes in the first two games, Williamson played 25 and scored 6 of his 23 points down the stretch of a must-win 109-99 victory against the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday. Today we'll find out if he plays significantly more minutes when the New Orleans Pelicans tip it off against the Sacramento Kings at 12:30 this afternoon. The Pelicans, who are 29 and 38, closed out their first victory in the 3 games during the restart on Monday night, while the Sacramento Kings have nearly the same record at 28 and 39, are a game behind New Orleans after losing in overtime against Dallas on Tuesday to fall to 0-3 in the bubble. The Kings and Pelicans will meet again on Tuesday. Here's Alvin Gentry talking yesterday after practice on the back-to-backs.
It's beneficial, I think. Obviously, it's not like you're playing a 7 o'clock game and then turn it around and playing a 7 o'clock game. So, we should be back at the hotel by 4 o'clock, 4:30. So, from that standpoint, I think it's, you get adequate rest. We can go through the regular shoot-arounds. We don't have to worry about anything like that.
Yeah, and so maybe that 12:30 start time today combined with tomorrow's 7 p.m. tip-off against the Wizards, maybe that means that Zion plays without many restrictions in this back-to-back. I still don't know what the plan for the second half of the back-to-back is. I do expect him to play just as much as he needs to today in order for the Pelicans to get that win over the Kings.
PGA Championship, the 2020 PGA Championship featuring Tiger Woods, Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, and more begins this morning out at TPC Harding Park in San Francisco, California. The first 6 hours of the first 2 rounds from 10 a.m. until 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock Central Time will be streamed exclusively on ESPN+. The final 2 rounds begin coverage on ESPN+, followed by 2 hours on ESPN and concluding on CBS. PGA Championship teeing off this afternoon.
Musso, how you feeling? Who's going to win?
Feeling good.
Who's going to win?
I don't necessarily have a pick.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Great
gonna
take.
pick.
Great take.
Sorry.
Way to be our golf guy on the streets there, Moose.
College football, did you see
Damn it,
this
I hate
yesterday
you.
on a Big Ten conference call? Jim Harbaugh and Ohio State, Ryan Day got into it. Per the report, Harbaugh interrupted Day, raising an issue with an on-the-field instruction that was reportedly happening at Ohio State. He also brought up a photo that showed position coach Al Washington working with his linebackers before he was allowed to do so. Day interrupted Harbaugh by saying, "Hey, how about I worry about my team and you worry about yours?" Day and Harbaugh reportedly going back at each other yesterday in the Big Ten conference call. Did you see Ohio State's schedule published yesterday? If they don't go 10-0, they should fire Ryan Day after this season.
But, okay, this is where the schedule release gets weird because you have half the people talking about how it's like a hard schedule, right? And then you have a lot of the SEC fans looking at it and being like, hard, that schedule looks easy to me. So, yeah, I can't tell because I think it looks easy too. Can't tell if that's my SEC bias breaking through. But what I love is in all of this,
Illinois, Rutgers, Purdue leading you off.
well, I mean, yeah, look, I know. I'm talking about more about the tail end. It gets a little bit tougher, but it's like Big Ten tough, right?
Where?
In SEC. I mean, what's the final stretch? I think it's like at Penn State, maybe into like an Iowa game or something. I don't know, dude. The thing is, if you don't respect
Sandwich
Big
with
Ten,
a bye.
if you don't respect Big Ten football, you're not going to respect the schedule, right? What the line that I love in all of this though is the how about I worry about my team and you worry about yours? That is the ultimate, yes, I'm cheating, but I'm the alpha in this situation, and so just shut up, okay? Like, yeah, we were doing on-the-field instruction we're not supposed to, but guess what? Nobody's going to come after us. We're the big dogs in this conference. It's also the perfect opportunity to remind you that Jim Harbaugh is 0-5 against Ohio State and has been outscored 118-66 in the last 2 games alone. He's also 2-11 against top 10 teams in the last 5 years, while Coach O at LSU is 12-3 against top 10 teams at LSU.
It's good.
Feels good.
Major League Baseball, Aaron Nola hit a career high with 12 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched Wednesday night in a no decision for the Philadelphia Phillies versus the New York Yankees as Philly fell to the Yankees 3-1. His brother Austin Nola, 2 for 4 with 2 ribbies, his second multi-hit game for Seattle in a 7-6 win over the Los Angeles Angels that produced this monumental tweet last night from Jimmy Ott that hit Twitter at 11:02 p.m. last night. Austin Nola, 2-out, 2-run double. WXTEBDS Mariners keyed to 6-3 over Angels.
Yep.
Back-to-back multi-hit games. Fur.
Absolutely.
4 spelled F-I-R. NOLA. Good night, Twitter.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think Jimmy Ott said everything that needs to be said.
What do you think he was trying to say after the double?
I think it was Angels. I think it's Angels Mariners. That's what I was just diving in my notes to.
Well, here's Angels
to
right
see.
here. So I got Austin Nola 2-out, 2-run double extends.
Yeah,
Mariners
there we go.
lead
There we go.
to
Yeah,
6-3
yeah,
over
yeah.
Angels. Back-to-back multi-hit games for Nola.
Yeah, it is.
There you
It
go.
extends.
That's my
Great
final
job.
answer.
Is extend still a thing? I don't know. Either way, imagine striking out 12 in 6 innings and not getting a win.
It's not hard for him to imagine it happens to him every time. They
Okay.
do not hit for Aaron
true.
Nola.
That's
It's
true.
ridiculous.
It would be interesting to go back and see the no-decision games that Nola has pitched in the first couple of seasons. As
It's a
pro.
lot of them.
I mean, it
is a
ton.
lot of
and,
them.
And a lot of them are those types of performances. I mean, he gets a career high last night, strikes out 12, and nothing to show for it. Sean Payton was on a press conference call yesterday and talking about some of the decisions that the Saints are making going into training camp, including some of the players opting out.
As far as I know, yeah. Look, we don't have a union, and I don't even know, that would be handled team by team. But there hadn't been anybody that has decided to sit out up till this point.
The Mercedes-Benz Superdome is recognized as one of the top home field advantages in the NFL. Sean Payton was asked yesterday the potential or the likelihood of playing in front of no fans.
I don't know. It's a good question. I think quickly golf is getting used to it. The other sports are getting used to it. I just think it's different, and then pretty soon, you're playing. I think the one area you look at, a place like Seattle or Kansas City or Minnesota or New Orleans, there's a few teams that have a real loud stadiums, that kind of maybe neutralizes that. But, it is what it is. I don't know that I don't know that specifically. I think your question is a good one relative to kickers, but I don't know if we'll see. There's still look, if you're kicking a 41-yard field goal to win a game and it's loud or it's dead silent, all right, there's still that pressure felt by the kicker.
Ooh, what about that kicker that misses the game winner in dead silence, the first one?
That's going to feel awkward. That might actually feel worse than
I
being
agree.
in
It could
a
be worse.
stadium.
I feel like dead silence might be worse than the raucous crowd.
Yeah, I
Especially
agree.
if you miss it.
Yeah,
but even on the setup, that's what you're saying, right?
on the setup, just like there's nothing. It's just really you now
Yeah.
and the ball and the goalpost.
I wonder if the opposing team will be yelling at the kicker.
Yeah.
Like if he's setting up for a game winner from the sidelines, if they're screaming like "Miss it!"
I used to love yelling at kickers before the game. Jogging on the field, you see him miss a kick, be like, "What's gonna happen?" Well, whatever. I can't say what I would
Easy.
say.
Yeah, you almost went in right there.
Yeah, but
Jimmy Chase coming up
Kickers
45
are
minutes from now.
subhumans.
Chef Michael Johnson in 15 minutes. You got food questions for the chef. Get them inside the huddle with the hashtag Munchies. Or if you're watching on the YouTube, station, you can use the hashtag Munchies and get your questions over for Chef Michael Johnson. Looking forward to our conversation with Jimmy Chase, Jamar's dad, coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. And at 8:30, we'll talk Major League Baseball with Chad Durbin. Stick around. OTB, driven every single day by All-Star.
Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Landwide Insurance Agency brings you OTB Daily here. Remember, get in touch with the boys, Randy, Brian, David. Saw the boys yesterday over at lunch. The insurance agents, if you're looking for auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, flood insurance, they can help you out on that this morning. Get online, LANOIX agency.com. It's a great starting point for savings. If you're looking to save a couple of dollars, call the boys this morning for that free quote, 749-5640. Or online, LANOIX agency.com.
LandwaAgency.com, LandwaAgency.com. Look, I've told the story earlier this year. I didn't do anything, right? I'm just going about living my everyday life, and all of a sudden Landwa calls me and says, hey, we found ways to save you hundreds of dollars. If you don't have an insurance agent that actively is always seeking out the best deals, customizing policies to your needs without you having to push them or be involved at all, then you're not doing it the right way. And you need to do it the right way with Landwa Agency. So go to LandwaAgency.com, LandwaAgency.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
1045 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. So join us 3 to 6 for Thursday's AFR, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You off the line. It bleeds you every time you crawl till you're something like a coward little dog. Don't wanna hear the blackbird.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Shout out to local artist Sinclair here, who has sent in the music as we have put it out to the listening audience, and have really been humbled by the response, by the amount of people that are sending in music. And this is one Sinclair, who's a local band here in Louisiana. This is the song "Cries." It's a great album. You can find them on Spotify, and we appreciate everybody for interacting. And we will continue to play local music here on Off the Bench as you guys send them in, and we will recognize the artist here on OTB. Coming up on Off the Bench, we're going to talk to Jimmy Chase, Jamar's dad, at 8 a.m. Looking forward to that conversation. As we told you, Jimmy's in the news right now. He was speaking to Go 247, or he was speaking to 247 Sports. Chris Hummer had the story over there in speaking with Jimmy, and he's got some pretty good quotes about where Jamar is going into his junior season. I think everybody thinks about Jamar When you talk about college football athletes, college football players who have the potential of opting out, you usually see Jamar's name on the list, or if it's a write-up about that type of story, they're using Jamar's image on that story. But by all accounts, and everybody around LSU, and now here is a firsthand source, and his father speaking to 247 Sports, talking about he just loves the game and he loves LSU. He wants to finish his career in a positive manner. When I bring it up, he's like, Dad, I don't even want to talk about it. I have to respect his decision on it. He's the one that's playing. Everybody is looking at the position Jamar is in being a top pick. That's fine and dandy, but they don't see the competitive juices that are in him. He's going to play the season out. He's locked in with his team, and as long as everybody is healthy, he wants to play, and he wants to be with his team and his teammates. We'll talk to Jimmy coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning about the best wide receiver and probably the best player in college football in Jamar Chase. When you just talk about football players in the sport in 2020, there's probably no one better than Jamar Chase. He may not be the number one pick because of a team's need, and it could be Trevor Lawrence, but let's say that the Cincinnati Bengals get the number one pick. They've got their quarterback. There's no better football player on the board than Jamar Chase, so he could be potentially a number one pick. We'll talk to Jimmy coming up about it.
If the Bengals have a number one pick, I wonder if they feel like they have their quarterback at that point. I mean, Peyton Manning went, 3-13 and threw 1 million interceptions year one, but it just seems like nowadays, as even compared to, when was Manning a rookie? Mid-90s? Late 90s? 98? Late 90s, there you go. It was a different time. I feel like that would be, if he went through that rookie year nowadays, it would be talked about unceasingly. So, that's the environment that Burrow's stepping into. And, yeah, it makes sense that Jamar be a top pick because you know what? Look at last year's draft. Look at the unreal amount of wide receiver talent in that draft, and then recognize the guy that won the Blitnikoff Award for best wide receiver wasn't even eligible for that draft. The dude's a beast. You already know this.
And we'll also talk to Chef Michael Johnson coming up here in 10 minutes. So Munchie's questions starting to come in as we will get them over to the chef here in 10 minutes. Did you see the story coming out of Colorado State that they're investigating an internal investigation right now, that the NCAA is taking a stand for college football players when it comes to the pandemic? Via ESPN.com, Colorado State has commenced an immediate and objective investigation regarding allegations that student athletes have been intimidated and threatened regarding COVID-19 protocols. Per the report, multiple football players have been told that their playing time could be affected by a positive test result and an extended absence. Some players reportedly felt compelled to minimize symptoms and to continue to work out despite potentially having COVID-19. One player said he was scared to mention symptoms to the coaching staff or medical staff. An unnamed member of the school sports medicine staff told ESPN, "I feel as if they are not keeping people safe." I get the opposite feeling from LSU in being up there a little bit and talking to officials around LSU, whether it is with the football program or whether it is even at a higher level, an executive level within the institution, that the health and safety of the student athletes is at a premium for everybody that has any type of influence of those kids on the campus, or those student athletes, not kids, on the campus. If this is true at Colorado State, this is going to cost Steve Adazio his job, in my opinion, because this is inexplicable.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Well, no. So that was my initial reaction, and then I tried to find out. Okay, how could this come about? Why would they be doing this?
You don't think you can get away with this, right?
Well, to me, what it is it's less about trying to and whatever. This is just my I don't know this. Okay, this is my read on the situation. Is that it's probably less about trying to intimidate people into being like, if you have COVID, shut up about it. What did Virgil Osbury say the other day? He said it's all about discipline, right? And I think that this is probably the coaches thinking like, hey, maybe if we threaten their playing time, then they'll be more worried about getting it, and then they won't go out to bars, or they won't go to parties, and they'll abide by social distancing and these things. The problem with that is, if that was indeed the original thought behind applying this sort of pressure, the problem with that is that obviously when any other person outside the situation views it, it looks horrible. It looks inexplicable. And really, quite frankly, it is, man. In this situation with so much risk already being assumed by these players, and players that are not being paid, et cetera, this is going to blow up in their face. This kind of story is the same reason why the Big Ten players came out yesterday, and they didn't do a full broadside like the Pac-12 players attempted to do, and they didn't ask for a ton of the revenue or this or that. What they did ask for, at almost everything, centered around a more codified COVID protocol process. And that's why, the start of this article says the NCAA is taking a stand for college football players. That's bullcrap. The NCAA has been absent in all of this. It's one of the main problems. You talk about Rob Manfred flying by the seat of their pants, by the seat of his pants. Who's flying more by the seat of their pants than Mark Emmert and the NCAA? They haven't done anything. All they've done is shuttle responsibility down to the conferences, who's then shuttled down even further. Even that NCAA board that was supposed to rule on fall championships kicked it down to the group of ADs. So they don't have to make decisions. The NCAA is like Congress. Okay, they just want to remain in their job. They want to continue to make money. They don't actually want to bear any responsibility or make any rules or have the blame ever fall at their feet. And so now what you have is you have a completely splintered protocol. It's done conference by conference, but then that lack of leadership trickles down, and then even the conferences have basically just left it up to the school. It's the craziest thing about what Verge talked about us the other day, saying it all comes down to discipline. It all comes down to the individual. Like LSU's resources are way greater than like some of these lesser schools, right? Than like an Arkansas football program would be, right? So LSU can develop better protocol. They can develop better testing than Arkansas. But the problem with that is, then what? There's and I'm using Arkansas as an example here, but like everybody that Arkansas plays are just exposed to more risk. Now, thankfully, a bit of this seemed to have changed yesterday when I believe the SEC came out and said they're going to start to try to test players 3 times a week. Obviously, and not just players, coaches, everybody, right? Obviously, Jordy, this is going to be incredibly expensive. These are expensive tests 3 times a week. It's going to be millions upon millions of dollars. And instead of requiring these schools who are in all kinds of different economic situations to do it, it does look like that money is going to come from the conference itself. So at least in the SEC, things appear to be moving in a more positive direction. But you need, in something like this, where you're trying to control variables, you need a more centralized power source. Again, it's why something like the NBA is working so well. And there just has not been that. It's had a very fly by the seat of your pants feeling up to this point.
I feel like the NFL is going to have to, at some point, look at the possibility of a bubble because of the success that the NBA is having and because of how disorganized and dysfunctional the MLB looks and not having one. I think the Saints are being proactive in that and where they're trying to create their own bubble. I read yesterday where Tampa Bay is taking similar types of steps to try to create a bubble for their franchise to keep themselves safe. I don't know if the NFL's plan or lack thereof plan is going to suit them best moving forward either. I think that at some point they're going to have to develop a strategy that looks very similar to the NBA because of just, if nothing else, by the success of keeping the league up and moving and running and consistent. Right?
And what else is kind of interesting is that, and this is more on the field perspective, but when there is no centralized protocol or kind of codified plan, then it becomes an area in which you can gain a legitimate competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
Which is fascinating because that's what Sean Payton's been alluding to this entire time. He's been talking about how, look, managing COVID is just as important as the talent that you have or the practice time that you're putting in this season. And so the teams that are most proactive and the teams that are most successful will have a very good chance of being most successful once the football actually starts being played.
Yeah, we have some sound from Sean Payton that we'll get to as he was speaking on a conference call yesterday. We will be able to get to that sound later in the hour. Next, we're going to talk to LSU executive chef Michael Johnson here on Off the Bench. If you got any food questions for the chef, make sure and dial them up inside of the YouTube Watch app. You can use the hashtag Munchies, or you can use or you can jump inside the huddle and drop hashtag Munchies on your question, and we'll get them over to the chef coming up here in a couple of minutes. Chad Durbin going to stop by and talk some Major League Baseball with us in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll ask Durbs his thoughts on the MLB plan that he's seen so far, but more want to ask him about like what we were talking about inside headlines was Aaron Nola's performance last night and how many of those that Nola has experienced with Durbin's former franchise in Philadelphia. Last night, Aaron Nola, the Baton Rouge native, LSU standout, former LSU standout, goes 6 innings, strikes out 12 versus the vaunted New York Yankees lineup in a no decision. 3-1 loss it ended up being for the Philadelphia Phillies, but a no decision for Nola. And Durbin's got a great relationship with Aaron and Austin Nola, who had a big night at the plate for the Mariners last night. So we'll get some insight from Durbs coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. OTB, powered by All-Star Toyota, every single day here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily, we're brought to you by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, DGBauto.com. Remember, Donaldsonville Glass and Body is over there at 415 Division Street, ready to help you out with all your collision repair. Stop in and see him today. Kenny Frederick Jr., remember, we've been reminding you, if you're looking for work, Donaldsonville Glass and Body is a great place to look for employment, as they are looking for service technicians right now. They offer 401k, paid holidays and vacation, also health insurance. You want to get in touch with Kenny Frederick Jr. online, dgbauto.com.
Go to dgbauto.com, Donaldson Glass and Body on Facebook, donaldsonglassandbody.com. You oil service tech, call them up. You have full bennies, great job, 401k, all that stuff. They got it over there, Donaldson Glass and Body. Also, maybe you have a check engine light that's on, or you need an oil change, or anything and everything that could potentially be wrong with your car. Maybe even just an inspection sticker. They do it all at DG&B, and the best part is you can trust them. They're not trying to maximize profit. They're trying to maximize satisfaction. Go to donaldsonglassandbody.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet. And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
On the next edition of Game Time, we got all kinds of action as Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz talk some PGA, MLB, NBA, and more. We'll be at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, remember, everything podcasted here on Off the Bench is brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. Carriages is easy to find on social media, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. You can hit them there. Or if you want to stop in and see them today, stop, say hello to Will and the crew over there at Jefferson Highway in Oldham, and right there in the corner in the Jefferson Highway Shopping Center. Every Thursday here on OTB, we link up with the executive chef of LSU Sports. That is Chef Michael Johnson, as he is back with us here on this Thursday. Chef, good morning. How are you?
Morning, guys. I'm well.
Hitting the coast this weekend, Chef. Leaving out of Grand Isle on Saturday morning for a little offshore fishing trip. Any recommendations or any advice for your boy?
Well, I just pray for some smooth seas for you guys. You know,
Me too, buddy.
My brother and I took our kids out this past weekend, and we had under 1 foot seas. I'm gonna tell you, brother, there's something really spectacular about being out on the Gulf of Mexico when it's that smooth. So I hope you guys good seas, and this hot weather too. We were catching them off the bottom instead of 16 poles. We were catching mangroves out about 16 poles, and we were catching the big red snapper down on the bottom.
If it is choppy, I can ruin it for everybody. I can promise you that.
Take some Dramamine.
We'll be back into the dock pretty quick.
You ever take some Dramamine?
It doesn't work for your boy.
Really?
Chef, I got a question for you here. This is personal. Bryson DeChambeau is one of the favorites going into the PGA Championship. It has been reported that he has gained some 50 pounds in less than a year and has added muscle onto that 50-pound frame. If I don't want to do that, but if anybody out there, an athlete, is looking to gain that type of weight, what type of food intake does that mean?
Well, I think that on top of the protein, you're probably going to be putting in a lot of supplement on top of that, protein shakes and such. That in particular when you're in recovery, right? So when you work out, you burn the calories that you've taken in already, and then you have to recover. You have to put calories back in your body to recover, and there's protein structure and amino acids add to that. So there's a lot involved in it, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Hashtag Munchies. What's the best way to have a potato with steak? Frites, baked, twice stuffed, or au gratin?
I like all those potatoes, but my favorite type of potato is called a Duchess, and you take like garlic whipped potatoes, and you add egg yolk into them, and then you bake them in the oven. You pipe them out and you bake them in the oven.
Oh my!
And the outside of them kind of crisps up like I don't know, even almost like a meringue or something. Like outside the potato is crispy, but the inside of it's like whipped potatoes, and they're fantastic.
Hashtag Munchies. Did the chef play sports in high school? If so, what sports and what positions?
I did. I played. I competed in a lot of sports actually. Like I played soccer my senior year. I was actually only 4'8" when I was a freshman in high school.
What?
So yeah, I wrestled at that size because I only weighed 83 pounds, and I actually had to gain weight to make the minimum weight bracket for 103.
DeChambeau.
Yeah. So I played soccer. I ran cross country. I played golf most of the time. I played tennis a couple of years. It was, in order to be a wrestler, you had to stay active. It was required that you stay active in all sports in the off season. So in the spring, I either ran cross country or played soccer, and then in the fall I did, and then wintertime I wrestled, and then I played tennis or golf in the spring to just keep active and my body healthy.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Are you still active today?
Say that again.
Are you still active on anything? You play tennis or anything?
I run still. Yeah, I don't really play tennis anymore. I don't even. Actually, my golf clubs got stolen when I moved here from Seattle. So that was
Welcome to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I hear you.
Our guy Jim Ferguson wants to know, hashtag Munchies, for your everyday Cajun seasoning, what spices do you put together, and how much salt do you put in the mix?
I've been playing around with seasonings here lately, and like I've been toying with like leek powder and onion powder and black garlic powder and different types of stuff. And I like Calabrian chili in my spice seasoning, and it may not be completely Cajun, but it has a really, it's like a complex cayenne, if you will. It has a really nice flavor to it. And salt. Salt's necessary. I'd say probably 50% salt to the rest of the seasonings that are in it. Yeah.
Tom Granning, #Munchies. Chef, what's the best thing to do with Royal Reds?
Royal Reds?
Yeah, is that the jumbo shrimp?
Is that like Marble Reds?
Is that the jumbo shrimp?
I have no idea.
Oh, right. Yeah. Royal Reds, yeah. It's a shrimp, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I like broiled shrimp. If they're big enough, split the shells and put them in a broiler on a high flame and splash some butter or olive oil on them and squeeze a little lemon juice. And you guys know I'm a simple guy. Like I like to taste the flavor of the food. I don't like to mask it too much. So I like open flames as well. So
fry that thing. William Ivey asks #Munchies, and I've wondered there's two difference in cooking with salted butter and unsalted butter, and what do you use with the different dishes?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a difference. So, and it has to do with the seasoning at the end of it. So I don't ever use salted butter for anything, because the premise behind that is you don't know how much salt has gone into it. So you have to be careful about how much butter you add into it. And to be honest with you, we don't cook with too much butter at the Nutrition Center. I cook with butter at the house, and it's always sweet cream butter. But it has to do with the seasoning of it, and I like to control the seasoning rather than having an undetermined amount of salt in it that you just don't know, right? So I use sweet cream butter, and I actually like European style butter as well. It's a little bit higher in fat content and a little bit smoother on the palate.
#Munchies from Billy Ivy. Chef, did you ever have a player like Zion who had trouble with his weight? What do you do with a player like that?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. There are some of the bigger guys that need to cut weight that we work with them on a day-to-day basis, whereas some of the other guys are lower maintenance, I suppose. But I wouldn't say trouble with any of them. Most the guys at LSU are committed. I like when I was in the pros, we had some guys that they didn't want to follow the program just because they didn't. Like we had a dietitian that was saying you guys need to eat this stuff, and they wanted to eat fried chicken, and so. There was conflict over that, but those guys, there's a difference between a pro player and a student athlete where, one's making millions of dollars a year and wants to eat what they want. And the student athlete is just moving away from home, right? They're grateful to have a meal in front of them. So there's a difference in the outlook, I suppose.
By the way, Zion not struggling with his weight, William. #Munchies, egg preference, poached, fried, scrambled, hard-boiled. And then I want to tack on one. Is there a more versatile food than eggs?
Gosh, I don't know. A chef prides himself on how many ways he can cook an egg. Honestly, there's a meaning behind that, and I kind of like a poached egg. I don't know. I think if I had a favorite, it probably is going to be poached. There's a difficulty to it, but then again, if I'm cooking eggs at the house, I'm frying them most of the time. So, I suppose, I just like the egg.
How many different ways can you cook an egg?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I would say over 20. Just off the top of my head.
Eggs, dude, the best.
#Munchies. What's a good showstopper dish for a game day party that's secretly really easy?
Oh.
That's an oxymoron there.
That's like jumbo shrimp.
To me, a showstopper is something you're putting a lot of time and energy into. I guess if you're aiming to not put too much energy into it, like a dish that's braised, or even a chili that you put together and let sit and cook, or like a roast that couldn't cook slow and low overnight. That you let the meat do the cooking, you let the oven do the cooking, and like pulled pork, that's a super easy dish. Yep. It's relatively easy to pull off, and people love it. So.
#Munchies. Besides oysters, what are other good foods that are aphrodisiacs?
I actually have an entire book on aphrodisiacs that I picked up somewhere or another, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's in it. I don't know if I actually buy into it or not. It's kind of a novel deal idea, if you will. I do eat oysters, so I can't completely discount it.
My grandpa always told me they make you love longer. Chocolate? I've always heard chocolate's kind of sexual in nature.
Yeah, chocolate has. Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag munchies. How do you like to cook or eat your rhubarb?
I like a strawberry rhubarb pie, and kind of sweat it down and cook. Rhubarb is actually a weed. It grows wild in the ditches, and at least it does back home in Missouri. And I believe it does down here too. But it almost mimics looking like celery. Like it has a U-shaped stem like that, and it's kind of a strawberry purple color. And you chop it up, cut it up, put it down in a I don't know. I always put it in pies, and it turns out really nice and sweet. Has a little bitter finish to it, but it's quite nice. Yeah.
This one might not make any sense to a chef, but it might. Are y'all practicing in the kitchen without using any cookware? No, it wouldn't.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Hashtag munchies. Will you pay the $49.99 to watch Mike Tyson fight one more time?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Hashtag munchies, tab or fresco.
And I'm a boxing fan too. I just I like real pro boxing. I don't like that to me is kind of just it's novel,
gimmicky.
if you will.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tab or fresco?
Fresco.
Is it true that
Never
you
really
played?
got into tab.
Is it true that you played semi-pro dodgeball in Seattle?
I played dodgeball a few times on the tarmac or on the field in Seattle. Yeah, we actually used to have an interleague team there in Seattle that we would play the grounds crew versus the culinary team, or there was teams within the building that we would play dodgeball. Yeah.
Is Russell Wilson as cringy in person as he is in video?
I'm not going to comment on that.
That's a yes.
That
wow,
feels like a
Chef
yes.
Michael Johnson on a Thursday.
Feels
That's
like
good
a yes.
stuff. We'll talk to you next week, Chef. Have a good weekend.
All right. Take care, fellas.
Yes, sir.
All right, take it easy, Chef.
Chef Michael Johnson checking in from LSU football. That was a little clarification on your boy there signing off. We'll close that hour one next.
No.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by All-Star Toyota. All-Star Toyota is located on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. Everything open and operating for you this morning. Sales department, collision department, service department. You can get in on an appointment if you need to online at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. You can test drive a car. They'll bring you the vehicle to your home, your office for you to test drive it. All the information online at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
You want 0% APR financing for 72 months on a brand new Camry? They got you. What about 0% APR financing for 60 months on a brand new Corolla? They got you. All these deals, $4,500 customer cash on a new 2020 Tundra. You want to get a Sienna, it's all right there for you at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Also, maybe you don't want a new vehicle? Check out their certified used vehicles where you'll get things like warranty coverage. Do you only normally get on new vehicles? You can also rent for the weekend to match your needs. The employees up there are incredible. They guide you through the process so it's not overwhelming. Go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com today.
Off the bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van?
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. So join us 3 to 6 for Thursday's AFR, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, a throwback on Wednesday shook up the Twitter world as Russell Wilson, the Mr. Unlimited video. I went back into a couple of Russie's archives, and it's just not Mr. Unlimited. Remember how cringy the Seattle contract announcement was from Bed in Sierra with Sierra Land right next to him? Now that's a flex.
It's a flex.
That's a flex. But like the hey Seattle, we got a deal.
That's the thing though. He has that great deep voice. I kind of love it.
Go to bed. It was another cringy reaction from Russell Wilson. Chef Michael Johnson was the executive chef of the Seattle Seahawks before he was for LSU Sports. I think he gave a little insight into how weird Russie can be off the field with his giggle to the answer of our last question for Chef Michael Johnson. T-Bob is a big fan.
Before you poison the people's mind, let's play the sound and let them them decide. Here's Russell Wilson's social media post from yesterday.
Hey guys, Russell here. Yes, the typical boring, yes, Russell, the robot Russell, the one you guys love to know. Real exciting. I'm real exciting. But anyways, everybody has to have an alter ego, right? And I've been thinking about what my alter ego would be, and I think I have an alter ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, you gotta be unlimited. You gotta have a thought process of being unlimited. So when people ask you, what you're thinking about or what you want to do in life or where you want to go, you got to be unlimited. Tell them, I'm unlimited. You know what I mean? So when they ask you certain questions like,
who brings you motivation, Russell?
Mr. Unlimited.
Who's your role model, Russell?
Unlimited.
Who's your go-to person for advice, Russell?
They think Pete Carroll, they think this person, think that person. Love you, Pete, but it's Mr. Unlimited. Tell him.
Mister, I'm feeling a little unlimited this morning thanks to my guy, Russie. I'm feeling inspired. You're talking about the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes. You're talking about a guy that made that video from his beautiful mansion in the Pacific Northwest. Sierra in the background feeding him lines. Who else has Sierra feeding him lines, huh? The dude is an alpha, okay?
Future.
The dude is an alpha. He was, not anymore. You know why? Because Mr. Unlimited rolled up and took that man's girl, okay? There's sincerity to Russ. that I love and appreciate in these cynical 2020 times. And for everybody who's going to sit here in judgment of my man today, ask yourself where you're at versus where my guy Mr. Unlimited is at, and then keep on with your jokes because we're going to places because our mentalities are unlocked. They're unlimited.
T-Bob, you can have that one, bro.
I'll take it.
You go ahead and take it.
I love the entire video.
I think that the Barstool Sports tag of the video may be the best write-up on it. If you can make it 30 seconds into the Russell Wilson video without gouging your eyes out, you deserve $1 million.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, you know who has many, many millions of bucks? Mr. Unlimited. I like the 8 Mile technique off the bat, too. It's what Eminem did in 8 Mile, where you address your own weaknesses before getting into your strengths. Oh, yeah, it's me, boring old Russell. You know, everybody thinks I'm just boring and kind of a cheesy guy. But check it out. I'm actually really fun.
And I'm about to confirm that for you over the next 45 seconds.
I'm super unlimited. So, right. No, man, I'm on board. I'm fully on board. I think Mr. Unlimited is in line to become Mr. MVP after this season. Possibly. Also, I love the fact that he has Sierra getting in on the videos, feeding him lines, power moves after power moves for Mr. Unlimited.
We will talk to Jimmy Chase. His son is unlimited with his ability at the wide receiver spot, and he's going to play his junior season. There has been many speculation or questions on what the future could hold for the top player in college football, and Jamar Chase. Chase has been steadfast that he is looking forward to his third season of action. In fact, tweeting a little bit at the NCAA as Jamar's starting to feel his voice within the game, as there is a rule that has not been confirmed, but I believe through these walkthroughs, the NCAA is not allowing the student athletes to wear cleats while they practice on grass. Jamar responded to that tweet, with a tweet. We'll tell you about it coming up here in hour 2. His father, Jimmy Chase, going to lead us off. All-Star Toyota driving us.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Daily brought to you by Ochsner Sports Medicine. Remember, the Ochsner Sports Medicine Institute has 3 locations: New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Covington. The team over at Ochsner Sports Medicine is specialists, and they are equipped with an unparalleled depth of experience, the latest diagnostic imaging technology, and cutting-edge rehabilitation equipment. You can get in touch with Ochsner at any location online at ochsner.org.
Go to Ochsner.org today, Ochsner.org, if you want truly professional, expert treatment. If you get injured, you can explore non-surgical options that you will not find anywhere else in Louisiana at one of the 3 Ochsner locations. If you have to have surgery, they got the best surgeons. The physical therapy facilities are unreal, y'all. It's just like being a member of the Saints, Pelicans, whoever. But then there's even Ochsner Performance Training, where it doesn't have anything to do with injuries. You just want to take your game to the next level. You want to get bigger. You want to get stronger. You want to get faster. You want to maximize your potential. Whether you're in high school, ancient athletes, it doesn't matter. Ochsner Performance Training has you. Go to Ochsner.org. Citizens Bank is proud to bring you the Fan of the Week. But during these times with no fans, Citizens Bank is switching its support to the Banking on BR campaign to raise money for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can help out by visiting brfoodbank.org or bankingonbr.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In and eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everyone. It is 8 a.m. on Thursday, August 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 93. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Still to come, Jimmy Chase joins the show next. Former big leaguer Chad Durbin joins the show at 8:30, and Sean Kelly stops by at 9:30. You can follow today's show inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Join us on the YouTube live stream and watch us on the 1045 ESPN channel, and make sure to subscribe and get over to the Off the Bench YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well and set your notifications for new content posted daily. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hour 2 off and added off the bench, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria, online at 1045ESPN.com, or on your smart speakers and on YouTube this morning on ESPN's YouTube station, 1045 ESPN YouTube. All of our sound here on Off the Bench is brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. Chef Michael Johnson, talk to Chad Durbin coming up here. Jimmy Chase, mere minutes away. Talking about the best player in college football, Jamar Chase. Chase ready to get back on the field. In fact, the Biletnikoff Award winner from last season tweeted out 15 hours ago, ready to get back in helmets and pads. He then quote tweeted that and said, "Heard they said we got to wear shoes at practice for 2 weeks. I don't know about that, but we need cleats for grip. Be smart at NCAA." I hope they're not asking these guys to go out on a practice field and run around in tennis shoes, man.
Well, I mean, I think the idea is that there shouldn't be any running because it's supposed to be walkthroughs, right? But it still just seems a little wild to me because it just, it's probably like a higher injury risk to be out there with shoes than no cleats.
Jamar Chase is the best player in college football. If he's not, Derek Stingley Jr. is, and those guys have been battling each other for the last year on the practice field. Before that, in high school, we got a good story from Derek Stingley Sr. earlier this week in his regular Tuesday visit, and we always appreciate our time when we catch up with one of our favorites, Jimmy Chase, who is back with us here on ESPN New Orleans, Alexandria. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Good to have you back. Off season has been crazy, obviously, with everything that's going on with COVID and with our world. How has your son managed the off season between year 2 and 3?
It's been like a roller coaster, really. Up and down. He's trying to work out and stay in shape, but he's had a little too much downtime, so he's a little antsy right now.
Ogeron told me a great story earlier this week. He said that he saw Jamar Chase walking down the halls last week, and Chase said, "Coach, I don't want my name outside the stadium," talking about being recognized on the championship teams, and he'll have the Bolitnikoff Award recognition on the outside of the Tiger Stadium locker room. He told he wants his name inside the stadium alongside guys like Casanova, Stovall, Burrow will be up there, and Cannon. And Ogeron said, go win the Bolitnikoff again, and Chase said he's going to. How motivated is he for another season of college football?
Oh, he's really fired up for that. I mean, he's locked in, and that Bolitnikoff Award just lit a fire on him, because he he has to do more, and more is expected of him, and he's going to be under the spotlight. So he's just ready to accept the challenge and take on whatever comes down the pipe.
Jimmy, when earlier this year during the pandemic, whatever, the Last Dance documentary came out, right? And we got this look into kind of the mindset of Michael Jordan and just how crazy competitive he is. And a lot of these alpha type of athletes, those are the type of guys that they are. Wait, I don't know if you watch it, but do you get that same sort of feeling from your son?
I definitely do. It's like, don't tell him what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't tell him what he can do, and don't make him mad. And everybody seen that video, and they thought it was a joke. They thought I was playing, but I was serious. You don't want to make Jamar mad. If he gets mad, all hell is gonna break loose. So no, he's just like that.
And where does that come from? Is that something that you instilled in him? Has he always been like that? Where's it from?
No, I think it might be a little family trait that we have. I think he just has it under control a little better. Usually what I used to do when Jamar played basketball at a younger age, I used to kind of rough him up before the game. And he would get mad, and he'd go take it out on the other team. So
it's so funny, dude. My dad used to do the same thing. He would make me cry, and then he'd be like, "Now go pretend the guy across from you is me." It's like the old water boy thing, and it worked. It worked. You just get fired up and go out there. Jimmy, I know you addressed it on 247 the other day, but just so our listeners can hear it, with this season so much up in the air, what are Jamar's plans currently?
Well, so far, his plans are, to go along with the team right now. But as you know, this thing is fluid.
Yeah.
And it's a real roller coaster. So, when I was telling the guy on 24/7, Jamar plans on playing football this year, right? But who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what can happen? This thing is like a real roller coaster, and that was really my opinion. I never got a chance to talk with Jamar about that yet, but man, this thing is day to day. Especially for us on our end. One day everything is all good, and then the next day it's like, oh boy.
Does he answer that question everywhere he goes? Do people ask him that everywhere he goes?
No, he tries to avoid the question, really. But they ask him everywhere he goes.
Stingley Sr. was here earlier this week talking about the battles your son and his son have gone back and forth on the practice field. They have become almost like folklore, like myths from coaches, teammates, and even guys like us, the media, who go out there and watch it. From your point of view, can you tell me some of the battles that you've seen between Jamar and Derek Stingley Jr. over the past couple of seasons and what they've meant for Jamar's development?
They've been like you said, they've been epic, right? Okay, it's like these guys had never ran into much resistance before. And when they ran into each other, they ran into the same type of resistance. and you can see it. Well, I know my son, right? And you can see it. It's like he got a little frustrated. He got a little mad at the same time. I told you don't want to make him mad, right?
Right.
And then he just take it to another level, right? So, like, that happened last year. So this year, like in the first 3 days of practice, I think it was the first day of practice, they went at it again. So I'm like, okay, well, that was last year. It can't be, they ain't going to do that again this year, And first play, Jamar went out for a pass, and he had Stingley beat. Stingley made up the route, made up on the play. He hit Jamar's hand as he was catching the ball. Jamar bobbled the ball. Jamar went to catch the ball with one hand. Stingley reached out and hit the ball again with the other hand. They fell to the ground. The ball was still falling in the air. Jamar still trying to catch the ball. Stingley still swinging at the ball on the ground,
I love it.
I'm
dude.
like, man,
That's so
these guys just don't quit, but they're ultra competitive, and they definitely bring out the best in each other.
How has the chemistry been between Miles and Jamar, Miles Brennan and Jamar this summer in trying to get some work together when it's been so quirky, when it's been so out of whack?
Well, Jamar said they're clicking. He said him and Miles is finally like on the same page and like they like understanding each other. So, he's feeling good about their little relationship and their camaraderie. Their development.
What about the rest of that wide receiver room? Has Jamar talked to you at all about being the Blitnikoff winner and then being in a room with so much young talent? Does he feel like a leader going into this year?
Yeah. He mentioned that I think after the spring or earlier over the summer sometime he mentioned that to me that he has to get these guys ready and he has to help them like develop. He got to show them the right way to do it and just keep them in line or keep them up to the standard that they're used to performing. Terrence and Racy already know the standard. So the new guys coming in, I guess, you have to show them because it's like Jamar and Terrence and Justin, they made it look so easy last year. So everybody figured they could do it, but there's a lot of work goes into that. And I guess he had to show them the work that he got to do in order to keep that consistency going.
Yeah, I mean, the summer of 10,000 catches, all that stuff that they did last year that just paid such huge dividends. And we're talking to Jimmy Chase here, father of Jamar Chase here on Off the Bench. I know that it's tough because of how incredible last year was, but are there any areas that he's expressed to you that he feels like he can improve? Like when he views himself where he can try to get even better?
No, I mean, like I said before, I think I told you guys one time before, he was working on the little things like hand placement or not letting DBs get their hands on them, stuff like that, little things like that, trying to avoid contact and just making sure he's coming off the line clean, just small things like that. He's pretty much just sharpening the skills that he already has. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
How cool is? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
How cool is this for you? Because I know that you were right next to him during the recruiting process. You are at every single game. You've got the jersey on. You got Jamar's dad on the hat. You are a very prideful dad. Your son is wearing 7 for the defending and reigning national champs and is probably considered the best player in college football. How cool is this for you?
Oh, it's real cool. I mean, like, this is a lanyard for me. I just wanted him to go to college, go to LSU, and be a major contributor on the team. And now he's like, one of the top players on the team. So in the home state, in the school right down the road, I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, this is like a true blessing. This is a real blessing for us for me as a father. What's
been your discussions with like Coach O, Mickey Joseph, LSU on just things that are evolving and what could be?
We really haven't had that discussion, with Coach O or Mickey. All I tell him is, look, he's going to be open. He might have 3 people on him, but he's going to be open. Okay, just throw it down.
There you go, Miles.
They know that.
Hey, what about this, Jimmy? Can you take us back to even before last year to a time when LSU's offense was still viewed as being crap and couldn't do a quarter, couldn't develop a quarterback, all of these things. Did Jamar ever let you know, like, when did he kind of know going into last season that they were going to be a problem for teams?
I want to say over the spring, over the spring last year. And, he kept telling me, "Down, we doing this and we doing that. And then we're going to do this." I'm like, okay, I got to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't believe it.
But I went to practice. And I seen it. So, I'm at practice and I'm seeing it and I'm like, holy crap. But I'm like, okay, let's wait till the game comes. Okay? Right? And when the game came, when the spring came, they didn't do much in the spring.
Yeah.
So I was like, see, here we go. Here we go again. And then when the season starts, they cut loose. Coach O used to pass by me, and he'll just, T-Bob, you might know, he just gave you that look.
Yes, I know.
Right? Yeah, he used to give me that look. I'm like, Jimmy, you better watch out, Jimmy. And man, I love that guy. He did everything he told me he was going to do, man.
It's like that sideways glance where his head's kind of lowered. He's got that grin on his face, like, hey, I told you so, man. Yeah, kind of nudge you in the ribs.
Wait, Jimmy, back at that. So everything he told you in recruiting has happened with Jamar, and probably more, huh?
Everything, okay? Everything he told me happened just like he told me.
Damn.
He said, Jimmy, he said, in order to do it, we need Jamar. He said, man, we're going to do it. And he was making moves in the off season, right? And as he was making moves, he was telling me, look, Jimmy, this is what I did, and we're going to get this guy, and I want to get this guy, and we're going to do this. And he did all of those things, because now you got to trust me now. We took a chance.
Yeah, hell yeah, you did. Hell yeah, you did.
Absolutely, dude.
I mean, hell yeah, you did.
Sending a wide receiver,
the best
to
wide
LSU.
receiver in the country to LSU at that time was a gamble.
Yeah, we took a chance, but he was so adamant. He was so adamant, and I'm like, this guy's been in the game for a while, so he has to know what he's talking about. And I'm like, hey man, let's do it.
Wow,
that's awesome. Dude.
That's a great story, Jimmy.
And look, you did need him. Look at the Natty, who was the one that made everything work on the biggest stage, dude.
In the biggest games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody in the biggest games. Jamar Chase was there. Jimmy, it's always great to catch up with you. We'll do it soon before the season starts.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys.
Always.
Thanks so much,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
There he is, Jimmy Chase, checking in from Metairie this morning. That is a great testament to Ed Orgeron to have the best player on his team's father tell him about conversations that they've had 3 years ago, everything play out, and then along the way, Orgeron continue to tell him, we've got your son's best interest at the top of their mind. That's a great testament for LSU football and their head coach. If you're a fan out there listening, you got to feel secure this morning.
I mean, think about it, right? Think about we always knew that Coach O was a recruiting expert. That was his strongest suit. And if he could sell Jamar Chase and his family on the vision for LSU before the success, what happens when you now give that man the nuclear arsenal, right? Like, how good can he be when you give him the weapons and the momentum and the stats and the numbers and the rings that he can now point to? It becomes very exciting to think about.
JoJo Earl, Chris Hilton, Brian Thomas, you're next. OTB, rolling on.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Coys Diesel, remember online, coysdiesel.com. There is a legend out there that Les Miles on his first recruiting trip told Jamar Chase he was going to be a safety, that he was going to be a defensive back. CoysDiesel.com. Remember, 24-hour roadside assistance is where you can find Coy and the crew if you need it. Light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel trucks. They're online at CoysDiesel.com. The service area is open and operating for you out there in Gonzales on Airline Highway. If you need them online, CoysDiesel.com.
CoysDiesel.com, CoysDiesel.com for all of your diesel vehicle needs. Yeah, would he have been a better safety or Dak Prescott a better tight end? I don't know. It's a great question. If you have any diesel vehicle questions, you should go to Coys, C-O-Y-S. You can go drop it in team. You just go to CoysDiesel.com. When you get on the site, a text box will pop up immediately where you can get that 24/7 roadside assistance. You can schedule some service. You need finance. You want to shop by part. It's all right there at your fingertips. Any diesel questions that you have, they're your one-stop diesel shop, CoysDiesel.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
On the next edition of Game Time, we got all kinds of action as Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz talk some PGA, MLB, NBA, and more. We'll be at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Jimmy Chase, an all-timer here on OTB, a great guest who is always very forthright, very honest in his answers, and I appreciate that from college football's best player's father, Jamar Chase. His dad, Jimmy Chase, checking in this morning on Off the Bench, giving some insight on Jamar's plans for his third season. Takes us back to some recruiting stories, which were fantastic with Ogeron, and just the development in offseason that Jamar has gone through, getting prepared for year three. We will talk to Chad Durbin coming up here in 8 minutes on Off the Bench Daily. We're brought to you by All-Star Toyota. We let you hear some sound in the headlines from Sean Payton. He was on a conference call yesterday, and a lot of sound coming out of it, including what his team looked like getting back to camp, and did they look like they were in shape?
Yeah, look, we're in the early parts of it, but we're basically lifting and running. We're in meetings, and then in the afternoon we're having a walkthrough of the installation. So, yeah, guys are moving around well. They're doing a lot of running, and it's a little different than just putting them flat out through that, that conditioning test and then kind of coming back with an idea. So we're trying to build up, be smart, and yet, I think overall the logistics have worked. We're handling that well. We'll continue to do that here for the better part of this week into next week, and then transition into, more of a conventional practice.
The biggest question I would have from an evaluation standpoint for the NFL is how do you evaluate and get down to 53 without preseason games? Sean Payton was talking about that yesterday.
Well, we've got to find a way to do that. I think you're going to see we've got enough padded practices, and we're gonna find a way to get the reps we need and prepare our team as best we can. I think Bill said it the other day. It's similar to what colleges have done for years. And I coached in college. You had scrimmages. You didn't get the luxury of playing preseason games. So the overall cut down to your 53 will present some challenges because, look, each year there's something that takes place in a preseason game where a guy steps up maybe and does something unique that all of a sudden gets him on a team. And so there'll be a little bit more pressure on the down-the-line guys, the younger guys that are trying to find a spot. And yet hopefully we can provide them those opportunities so that they don't go unnoticed.
So this is where it becomes kind of fascinating to me, Jordy, is and I'll just speak from some of my own personal experiences, right? Trying to make an NFL team. Well, certainly the practices were intense because, like, if you don't practice well, yes, that can absolutely get you cut. And you're reviewing every practice, taking copious notes, going through every play. So practices are intense, and you do feel like your job's in line. But the games, the preseason games, even though nobody's there and the vast majority of people don't care, those are, quite frankly, I think some of the most intense feelings and pressure that I've ever had playing football. Even in like national championships, SEC championship, anything like that, knowing that your livelihood was on the line, knowing that the ability to make $500,000 and consider yourself an NFL player versus just getting cut and having to go find another job and never playing football again, knowing that all that was on the line every single game, it was, like I said, it was just an incredibly intense experience. Now, all of that intensity and all that pressure is going to be shifted to practice. And the crazy thing about that is you're getting ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a month. Okay, so there's only so many practice reps to go around. And so, yeah, they're going to make practice more intense. They're going to do scrimmages. They're going to do fully pad. They're going to try to evaluate as best they can within those parameters. But if you're a guy trying to make this team, you might only get, and maybe they adjust this to better evaluate, right? Maybe they have like a hard day where they basically give the starters the day off and they make the younger guys go toe-to-toe. Maybe they do. But if they don't, you're talking about you might have like 4, 6, 8 plays in an entire practice that could very well determine your fate. In the NFL, it's a wild situation for some of these young players to be in.
Sean Payton and the Saints are at the forefront, forward thinking here and creating their own bubble as they rented 4 floors of a downtown New Orleans hotel that the Saints Tier 1 and Tier 2 employees can have access to starting today. Payton was asked about that decision.
It was really just looking at the percentages, all right? And if there's 80 players and then another, call it 90 or 95 people, coaching, training, equipment, total number of people in your first or second tier, let's call it 170. So basically every day, those 170 go home and then come back the next day. So you have 170 stories each day. And so you might be, like we were to start, pretty much clean by our players, and yet every day is a new day. And then you take that and you times it by 7. And then you take that and times it, by 4 weeks in a month, and then do the season. And look, statistically speaking, there are going to be. So it's really about trying to reduce the possible exposures, not eliminate.
More from Payton. Here he is talking about how he'll work Jameis Winston into the mix. Look,
he's been in what we're doing meeting-wise, walkthrough-wise, lifting, We're out on the field during the walkthroughs. So just like everyone else, he's in good shape. He's lean, lost weight, he's lean. He's a guy he's not afraid to work. And, so he's doing well. He's fit in well. Again, we're just into this thing now. All last week we were COVID testing, so he COVID tested well last week too.
Yeah, Pink, you got it. I mean, it was kind of like, what do you want me to say, dude? Like, we haven't practiced football yet, but he did show up in shape, which, given, Jameis Winston, he's been maybe a little heavy in the past. That sounds good.
No, this was the question that Drew Brees was answering earlier this week on his conference call. Was his deep ball? Was he still able to throw that? Sean Payton was asked the same thing. This is a longer soundbite that runs over a minute, but good insight from the head coach on his quarterback and being able to extend the field.
Well, look, our numbers down the field are still strong. His numbers down the field are strong, and I think every year he's that type of player that is constantly looking for little ways to improve. He's throwing the ball with great accuracy, timing, and I'm sure he's looking at, as he looks at the season, and it might be a particular 3 plays or 5 plays, but it's constantly working on an area that he sees possibly where he can improve. I don't know that there was this consensus coming off of one season. I think gradually where he's at, obviously, you're combating that age and you're combating some of the challenges both physically and then mentally. And I'm anxious to see as we get into these practices some of the things always that he's worked on. Tom does a great job. Tom House out in California, and Drew's very committed to every detail that he can cover.
That was Sean Payton speaking on a conference call earlier this week as the New Orleans Saints are preparing for the NFL regular season. Last night in Major League Baseball, the Nolas had a good night. Aaron Nola struck out 12 in 6 innings pitched in a no decision. His brother Austin Nola had 2 hits, back-to-back multi-hits game, and 2 RBIs and a win for Seattle. We'll talk to our baseball expert and insider, Chad Durbin, next here on Off the Bench, daily powered and driven by All-Star Toyota.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Central Plumbing Company, online centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the phone number. Remember, that's convenient to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Central Plumbing Company can help you with residential and commercial plumbing today. They can also sell and install for you a full home generator. Online, centralplumbing.org, or the phone number is easy, 925-8552.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552. Central Plumbing. I'm just trying to lock this into your brain so that anytime you have a plumbing issue, you're not stressing. You're not like, oh, where should I go? I mean, I don't know what to do. All you do is call 925-8552 or go to centralplumbing.org, and then they send someone out there who's licensed, bonded, and insured with a flat rate price structure and an excellent warranty for peace of mind afterwards to fix your plumbing issues, no matter what they may be. Old house, new house, it doesn't matter. They've been doing it for 4 decades, y'all. centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. So join us 3 to 6 for Thursday's AFR, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, remember, here on Off the Bench, everything's podcasted online, brought to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge, carriagesbr.com. Great Instagram, great Facebook. Hit them on social media. Alternate LSU game day logos if you're looking for them. We updated you inside headlines. The NOLA boys had a good night last night in Major League Baseball. Aaron, who was the top 3 pick and went to the Philadelphia Phillies. Was top 3 or 4? Was he the 4th pick? The 4th pick. He was a top 5 pick.
Bam, there we go.
Top 5 pick in Major League Baseball. As last night, he goes 6 innings against the best lineup in baseball, Musso, New York Yankees. Is that right? Yes, as he nods. He doesn't want to, but he's shaking his head in approving. 12 strikeouts, 6 innings pitched. No decision for Aaron last night as they're 3-1 losers. The Philadelphia falls to New York. And then Austin, his older brother, who is catching for Seattle, had his second multi-hit game of the week, knocked in 2 ribbies, and a 7-6 win for Seattle over the Los Angeles Angels. Our baseball insider is Chad Durbin every week here on Off the Bench. He's got a great relationship with not only the Philadelphia Phillies organizations, but both of the NOLA boys, and he's here to offer a little insight this morning. Durbs, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. That's the NOLA family hashtag winning, right? They just they've done it since they were at Catholic High and playing youth baseball around here. But Aaron was about as sharp as I've seen. This year, obviously, hadn't pitched a whole lot, but even in the past years where he's been, in the Cy Young race and everything like that, the curveball is as good as I've seen it. Just completely handcuffing a really good Yankees lineup. He looked like he was at the top of his game. It's fun to watch. I didn't get to see the whole game. I got to go back and look at some highlights. And then Austin and his whole story of just continuing to grind it out and wait for his chance. And the Marlins didn't allow it to happen for him. He went to Seattle, continued to grind it out. And, he's a difference maker for them now. And 2 big doubles last night. Mike Trout ended up not allowing that to be a win for them with 2 homers on his own. So, those NOLA boys are as classy an act, and that family's a class act. And I'm just happy to see them doing well.
from a pitcher standpoint, how frustrating is it to have your stuff be on like Nola was last night and not earn anything from it?
Well, there's two parts to that. The first part is that, we're competitive when we want to win, and I'm sure Aaron he wouldn't care if he gave up 6 runs in 5 innings and they go out there and win 10-6. That's kind of the attitude he has. I'm not sure how often he sits and looks at his own stats. And I'm sure Austin is the same way. They just want to win. It's not really frustrating when you get bought into the process and you're not worried about what you can and can't. You worry about what you can control. He can control what he went and did. He can't control what the bullpen does when it comes in, that it's only a 7-inning game. There's just a lot of different variables where if you get caught up in that, maybe it affects you in the clubhouse or it affects you after the game. And he just doesn't. He's a consummate professional.
Talking to Chad Durbin here on Off the Bench. Chad, and some other baseball news, Mike Soroka, the excellent young pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, he tore his Achilles. I guess it was first off, as a pitcher, how impactful is that sort of injury?
That's as impactful as it's blown out on a sprinter, a DB, a running back, anybody that's got to be that explosive to transfer that kind of energy and throw mid-90s. You need to be able to transfer energy through the ground, through the rest of your body. And so it'll be a long rehab. He's young. I mean, that happens in your mid-30s or late 30s. That's, you might not be coming back at the same pace. He's young. He's phenomenal in the clubhouse, one of the best guys in the league with regards to handling media well, being a great teammate. Paul Bird was, sent out some tweets afterwards that were just enormously complimentary. And Birdie played at LSU years ago, and I played with him in the big leagues. And Birdie doesn't throw out. He throws out compliments all the time because he's a super nice guy, but he doesn't go over the top like this. So it hurts. The Braves are, we're in a really good spot with some excellent start and pitch and great lineup and everything. And that Achilles injury is, T-Bob, you've been around guys. I'm sure Jordy, you've seen it. It's a long process.
Lived it.
It is and it's unsure. You're unsure. There's it's painful. I mean, it's miserable to watch a guy go through that.
I guess you or Jordy could answer this, given that he has lived through it. But because of the weird nature of the calendar right now, do you think that Soroka even pitches next season?
It'll really depend on what that protocol timeline, whether there's any setbacks. It's a 9 to 12 and sometimes 15 to 18 month rehab. And with his age and the Braves being pretty intelligent about everything, the problem with an overhand sport like baseball and pitching specifically is if your body's not at 100%, you start to manipulate your mechanics up top. And as soon as you start to do that and you don't do it efficiently, your shoulder and elbow become a little more susceptible to injury. So unless the metrics and the data and their guys over there think that he's doing it the right way, the PTs, the orthos, I mean, if he's not where he needs to be, they just won't take the chance. He's too young. If it's, a Roger Clemens or, a Verlander or somebody like that, and they say, I can go, you let him go. But a kid that age, you kind of you create the governor for him.
Chad, let's switch over and talk a bit about the Houston Astros right now, because obviously they are the team that everybody kind of entered the season, or a lot, maybe not in this area, but countrywide, cheering against them. If you look just from a couple of days ago, Springer was batting 167, Altuve was in the 170s, Bregman was in the 170s. Is this just coincidental? Is this a byproduct of not having the information that they had before? How do you explain what's going on in Houston?
I think it's coincidental. Those are three of the best hitters in baseball, three of the more talented guys. They get to hold a weapon like a baseball bat in game. They're probably just going through slumps. I mean, that is what it is. They get hot, and all of a sudden you blink, and in a couple of weeks they're hitting 290, and the Astros are winning. But I mean, it's coincidental, and it's kind of I don't know, tongue in cheek. It's kind of fun to watch a little struggle bus there.
I actually follow this Twitter account called Astro Shame Tour 2020, and it's kind of spectacular.
Look, anything that gets a good chuckle in these day and times when you're not sure what the next day's news is going to cycle at you and all that stuff. So, man, they just don't know how to be Darth Vader yet. They don't know how to be the dark side. You got to embrace that role. We talked about that preseason and during COVID. Let's see if they can be the bad guy. Say goodnight to the bad guy. They need to embrace that, and I'm sure that's really hard to do because those are really good guys that in sports you're seeking approval from your coaches, from your parents, from the other players and everything, and then you get into that situation. So this might be a process year for them, figure out who you are again, and I mean, they're three of the best hitters in baseball.
Can you describe how good Mike Trout is?
Yeah, he took like a week off to go have a baby. Came back, and the first at bat he had back, hit a ball off, maybe a little bit off the end of the bat, about 395 to left center for a homer, and then hit two more home runs last night. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's he's the best in the game. He kind of sets the bar so high that these new kids coming in, and the lifeblood of the league right now to me is it's all these sons of former players that are Fernando Tatis Jr., Kevin Biggio, Vladdy Jr. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but it really is fun, and I think those kids have watched the Mike Trouts and the Bryce Harpers and the Chris Bryants and all those guys kind of set the tone, and and you see all these guys do this really cool stuff and they're talented, and then you look at Mike Trout and you're like, whoa, it's still different. He's still better than them. So it's a lot of fun to watch that guy go out and do work.
Okay. So you kind of led me right into where I wanted to go with this. You're talking about sons. Should Paul Mainieri, if you're Paul Mainieri, would you offer Beckham, Aaron, Trout today?
Today, maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe let a day go by.
Okay.
No, but yeah, he's probably going to be a really good athlete. Here's the problem, though. That name on your back is tough to live up to.
Yes.
I don't wish that on anybody. You know what that's like. No matter what you do, it's kind of like, well, your dad was better at this than you were. Your dad was better. It's like, okay, I get it, but I'm actually me, and I saw some funny stuff. Beckham, the name. I mean, he played with a player, last name Beckham, that was with him with the Angels, and he said, I feel sorry for the kid. He's going to have to live up to, all the home runs and all the stat lines I had. And he's a good big leaguer. He's just not he's not Mike Trout. So I just think it's funny that guys are having fun on social media, and that it's not highlighted better. I think that's terrible. But
how about this? His initials spell out bat. Huh?
Whoops.
Think about it.
Well, he'll be a pitcher. Sorry, Mike. He's going to pitch. That's what happens. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's why I played center. Yeah,
Derbs, what have you made of the management of the Major League Baseball or season? What have you made of it up to this point?
I think all the other leagues are really lucky that they're out there making the mistakes for them. I wish it was a little more seamless. I don't think anyone really had a good idea of how fast things would spread. I mean, you knew it, but inside of these bubbles and inside of Major League Baseball, going from, I guess, region to region, they're staying within the Northeast or within the Southeast or whatever they can do. But I don't think it was managed as well as it could have been. I think we were first to market there. Maybe that was why they hesitated so long, and I guess in some ways it was. They had the collective bargaining stuff that they were going back and forth on. But when it came down to COVID and the spread and the protocols in place, all the other leagues should really thank them for showing them what not to do.
Chad Durbin, every week here on Off the Bench. Always appreciate the insight, man. Have a good weekend.
Guys, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chad.
Close that hour 2 next.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here on Off the Bench by All-Star Toyota. Remember, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Saw Lee Carney yesterday. Was able to eat lunch with him and Nick Richard, two of those guys running All-Star dealerships. Remember, Nick's running the All-Star Livingston out there, All-Star Ford, Dodge, Kia, while the 13 locations, 11 brands here in the greater Baton Rouge area, all of it allstarautomotive.com. All-Star Toyota is located on the corner of Goodwood and Airline, driving and powering Off the Bench every day.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, like Jordy's told you about multiple times, there's an entire All-Star family in Baton Rouge with all your favorite brands. Been around since the 80s. I went and got my new vehicle from All-Star Toyota. If you're in the market for a minivan, man, that Sienna is unreal. It's been like a for real game changer with my family. My wife yesterday said she actually got in the back seat, was able to get in the middle of seats, change diapers, feed the baby. It's amazing. All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious.
On the next edition of Game Time, we got all kinds of action as Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz talk some PGA, MLB, NBA, and more. We'll be at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, good stuff today from Chad Durbin, Jimmy Chase, and Executive Chef Michael Johnson from LSU Sports stopping by here on Thursday's edition. Remember, Pelicans talk coming up for you in OTB-OT. T-Bob will talk to...
We got Sean Kelly reporting live from the bubble. Now, this is going to be a regular thing. So, right now, we're going to learn what it's like to go through the bubbleization process. Yeah, you like that word? Just made it up. He is currently quarantined right now. So, he's, on lockdown. But I just want to get a feel for it. And then when he gets out of said quarantine next week, we'll check in with him again. So, we're going to talk to Sean Kelly about preparing to call these games. Talk a lot about the race for 8th. Some good results with the Pelicans way yesterday. What other games you need to be watching besides today's Pelicans 12:30 game? I think I've snuck onto another screen for another Pelicans game.
Before Sunday?
Before Sunday. I think I may be on at 12:30 today.
Wow.
Yeah. So waiting on the official
explain this
confirmation
real
there.
quick. So do you have to sit and watch the game live in front of the Zoom the
I believe
entire
so.
time?
I believe that.
That's a hell of a commitment.
I have not gotten the rules yet. Are you kidding me? That just sounds like an excellent excuse to drink whiskey and say, "Sorry, wife, you have to take care of the 2 kids right now. I'm working. Like I have to be on the Zoom call right now. I can't watch the kids. What do you want me to do?"
Excellent point of view from a stay-at-home dad. That's my fault. I can't just sit in one place though. I've got the problem. I can't stay still for 3 or 4 minutes.
I mean, honestly, though, probably at least for a portion of the game. I got to see what all the rules are, too, around all this. But I will get, Alice probably sit in my lap for a little bit. Maybe she gets a little
TV
Pelly
time.
screen time. I mean, she was born into it, man. I remember watching the Pelicans go on their playoff run when she was like 2 weeks old. I think there was a streak where the Pels won like 7 or 8 in a row right after she was born. I mean, I was at Women's the night she was born, holding her, watching the Pels on my cell phone. So she's been in this for a while now, so she probably deserves to be on the fan cam as well. So I'm still waiting on official confirmation there. But shout out to our guy, Mario Jerez. I think he might have got me snuck in for today at 12:30.
Little point of clarification for the listeners. I was getting a text message asking about the Jamar Chase story I was telling during the Jimmy Chase interview. And Coach O told us earlier this week, and this was off of the radio interview, outside of the radio interview, that he had run into Jamar in the building, and Jamar told Coach O that he did not want his name outside of the building. So Jamar will have his name outside of the building because he's a Bolitnikoff Award winner, and all of the award winners are outside of Tiger Stadium's locker rooms,
national champions,
individual award winners, and national champions. So Jamar Chase's name will forever be scripted into LSU football history for everyone to see forever. Chase said he wants his name not only outside the building, but he wants it inside the building, which would go alongside names right now that are currently Billy Cannon, Tommy Casanova, and Jerry Stovall. Joe Burrow's name should be next. Glenn Dorsey, Kevin Falk have been talked about after that. Chase wants to be in that mix. So it gives you an idea of the competitive spirit of the best player on LSU's team coming back for another season, who has been asked routinely whether or not he's going to even take part in this season because of how quality of a prospect that he is. His thought process is he's not only trying to play this year, but he wants to be better than he was last year.
Yeah, hyper competitive, man. Like his dad said, he just has the MJ factor. Why is Glenn Dorsey not inside the stadium?
It's a good question.
That seems absurd.
It's a good question.
Now that we're talking about this out loud,
most decorated defensive player in LSU football
and he got
history.
the natty. Like he led the comeback of the program. Like, what are we doing, y'all? Get it together. Put Glenn in that stadium.
Hour 3 OTB OT coming at you.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily brought to you by Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember, Secure Shredding and Recycling is available throughout our entire listening area. So if you're down in New Orleans, listen on 100.3, or if you're on HD 98.1 HD2 and listening to us everywhere that Eagle 98.1 services, you can use Secure Shredding and Recycling services. They are a premier provider of document destruction services for individuals, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies. They're online at SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com.
SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com, SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com for all your document destruction needs. Go there today. Look, it is a services business, okay? They get that. They're there to serve you and make it as convenient as possible. So as Jordy said, they can bring a truck on site. They have drop-off points in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, coming soon to Alexandria. You can bring them, they can pick it up, bring it back to their facilities. They can do it many ways. All you got to know is they're going to give you a great rate. They're local, and they're going to work with your best interest at heart. SecureShreddingRecycling.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, August 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 93. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Coming up today on OTBOT, Sean Kelly previews Pels Kings at 9:30. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on the 1045 YouTube channel. Subscribe. Get over to the Off the Bench YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well for new content that is posted daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What is going on, y'all? Feeling good here going into OTBOT. I'm sorry if I'm hitting you with a little aggressive open here, but you gotta understand your boy is excited. The boys are excited. It is Pelicans game day, and a big one at that. The race for 8th is heating up. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna look at this Kings game. We're going to look at the future for the Pelicans, what it may hold, but starting at 12:30 today. That's right, 12:30. The Pelicans are going to tip it off in some actual NBA action. So just like you do during March Madness when you knock off of work early and you go to drink beers at the pub. Well, maybe you drink beers at home this time, but skip work, okay? Get a babysitter. Do whatever you got to do. Check out Pelly's Kings at 12:30. I know, honestly, not many of y'all can do that. I'm feeling great today. Danny looks like he's feeling like himself. Musso, you're being a little limited, okay? You're being a little. I need you more.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
I
It's
need
gonna be
you
fine.
more unlimited.
No.
A little more unlimited.
No.
A little bit?
No.
All right. You're going to stay in that, you can learn a lot from Russ.
No.
Look at where he's at in life. You're going to stay in that rut until you, mentally drag yourself out of it.
I'm currently happy in my rut right now.
Okay, fair. Again, I can't even argue with that. Before we dive into the basketball, I have a question. I just saw a video get tweeted by Texas football. And in that video, the DB coach is talking about having a chip on your shoulder. And he says, I'm not talking about having a chip on your shoulder. I'm talking about having the whole bag on your shoulder. Saying that he thought that it was a bag of chips on your shoulder. Which is obviously, well, okay, so that was my reaction too. I'm like cracking up, like, oh my God, dude, what an idiot. And then I realized I don't know that I know what the actual chip on your shoulder is. Like, I know it's not a potato chip, but is it a chip of brick? Is it, what is the chip? Do we know? See, y'all are kind of having the same reaction that I did. I didn't know one of y'all would know.
It's like a weight.
I know, but what is the chip referring to?
It has to be heavy. So like a chip, a boulder or something, T-Bob.
I'm thinking of like a chip off the old block.
Right, so that would definitely that would imply rock for sure.
So does the chip fall off the block onto your shoulder? But is it really a thing about weight, or is it a thing about like being disrespected? Is it because people are saying you're not an entire brick and you're only a chip of a brick? So look, I get it. I wanted to make fun of this Texas coach, and I still think the potato chip interpretation is a little absurd, but I have no better explanation as of now as to what the actual chip and chip on your shoulder stands for. So if anybody.
It's definitely not a potato chip.
Yeah, exactly. We can agree on that. Now, and he was also in that video trying to call like Texas DBU and all that stuff. So, I mean, take it all with a grain of salt because the entire video is based on BS and falsehoods. Imagine wearing a DBU shirt before a game in which it ends with a 3rd and 17 pass where one of your DBs gets stiff-armed into the realm of hell. I mean, if you go back, one of my neighbors was texting me, and he was like, dude, I was just rewatching that play, and my God, that stiff arm was brutal. And it really is. I mean, he's right there, and he doesn't get within a yard of Justin Jefferson. He basically, like I said, he just threw him into the ground, and I never looked back. Brent Semino saying it's a chip of bone. I'm seeing a lot of chip off the old block, and so the chip on the shoulder is supposed to be better than the person that came before you. Interesting. I think we've kind of advanced to use it where it has nothing to do with your lineage. Now it's just all about someone who feels slighted and wants to be better, right?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of why I associate it with like a weight on your shoulder type deal.
Yeah, but you remember, dude, it's not just a chip. We talking about the whole bag on the shoulder, okay? Look, if I was going to say that someone had a bag on their shoulder, it would be Jamar Chase. I mean, that's the type of insanity that he lives with. Thank you, Danny, for pulling up that stock image of that guy.
Well done.
With a literal potato chip.
That was a giant potato chip.
Yeah, bring that back up, Danny.
Why is it so huge?
Full screen that thing. That is a massive potato chip. I doubt that it's real, which is disappointing because if there's one thing that I love in life, or one of the things that I love,
it's a costume. It's a strap costume. It's a strap.
Okay. I was going to say if there's one thing that I love, it's comically large food that is actually edible. If there's one thing that I hate, it's lazy ass Halloween costumes.
You show up to a Halloween party in that.
I mean,
you kind of deserve to have your ass kicked.
Thank you. I agree, dude. Get out the club, get out the party, come back when you've got some zombie makeup and a little blood or something on you. Come back like when you've got, I remember back in the day, people dressing as Coach Miles with Flava Flav clocks around their necks. Like, that's good. That's nice. I remember one time, and I felt bad because, well, whatever. There's no need to feel bad. JoJo went on to play in the NFL forever. He proved himself. But I do remember one student dressing up as Brandon LaFell with Butterfinger wrappers over his fingers.
Oh.
Which, mean for sure. But, it just comes with the territory being a college football player, but still really funny. And like I said, I mean, JoJo doesn't have to care about any of that. He played in the league for like 10 years, so it doesn't matter. He obviously does not have Butterfingers. Great costume, though.
See, I'm all for funny Halloween costumes more than like the scary Halloween costume. That one just wasn't funny.
I don't even care about scary or funny Matrix. I care about the effort. And that chip on your shoulder is like the BS where I don't know. It's just, it's weak. Exactly. It's pathetic. That's it. All right, let's get into some NBA basketball here as another game, another day, I should say, and another day of everything coming up Pelicans. Do a quick race for 8th update. What happened yesterday, the games that were relevant to the Pelicans' playoff hopes. The Jazz beat the Grizzlies 124-115. What we say yesterday? Sound the gong, Hunger Games. The Grizzlies are dead. It feels like that is just continuing. They're now 0-4 in the bubble. The teams don't get any easier. Grizzlies are floundering. The Nuggets beat the Spurs 132-126. This made me very happy. Now, the Spurs continue to play very close games, so Sunday's game against San Antonio is going to be massive. But that said, these last two, the Spurs are just a couple of plays away from being 4-0 and maybe being the odds-on favorite. The Nuggets, Shake Milton hitting that three, it's at least kept popping the boys a bit more in check. In terms of games that will matter today outside of the Pelicans, if you care about such things, at 3 p.m., you got Pacers Suns. At 7 p.m., you got Blazers Nuggets. And maybe that's even the bigger one to focus on, because when you look right now, the Grizzlies are still in the AC. However, like we said, 0-4, they're fading fast. You have the Blazers at 9, just one game behind them. And then you have the Spurs and the Pelicans tied one game behind the Blazers, and then the Suns are half a game behind them. And to be frank, the Kings are a game behind the Pelicans. If the Kings were to win today, they would actually tie New Orleans in the standings. But when I look at these standings, for whatever it's worth, sorry, Suns, I love you, Playboy Marty. I love how good they've been. I'm still crossing the Suns off, still crossing the Kings off. So to me, it's starting to shape up to be a 3-team race for 2 spots, okay? You have that 8th and 9th seed. Remember, if the 8th and 9th seed finish within 4.5 games of each other, they will enter a play-in scenario in which the 9 seed would have to win twice to get into the playoffs. The AC would only have to win once. And it is looking pretty assured that play-in scenario will come down to 2 of these 3 teams. We're talking about the Portland Trail Blazers, San Antonio Spurs, and the New Orleans Pelicans. And why this is a bit frustrating is because for a Pelicans fan, a pretty wild tiebreaker could come into play. You want to talk about effects of the pandemic. How about this? Do y'all recognize, do y'all know what the Pelicans' record is against the Blazers this year?
They went 4-0, did they not?
4-0. 4-0. So how in the world do they lose a tiebreaker against Portland if they were to finish tied in the standings? And this is where it gets a bit ridiculous. It's because they've played more games. They have one more win and one more loss, but because it's winning percentage based, that one more win will actually push them over. So despite the fact that you've beaten them 4 times, they will get the bump over you if like in the games back, y'all are equivalent, because they'll have one more win on your record. Now, I know you're giving me a confused look.
Well, is that just because of the bubble, or would that have happened if the season wouldn't have
No,
gone
that's just the bubble, because otherwise they would have both played 82 games, right?
That's
so,
stupid.
it's just because
that's dumb.
Portland got, I know. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. That said, Portland does have a much harder schedule. They did just beat the Rockets. So it's like, okay, maybe maybe they can handle that harder schedule. But the bottom line is the Pelicans game just have to, or the Pelicans right now, they just have to win. They've got the easiest schedule. You've got 2 games against the Kings. You got a back-to-back with Kings Wizards. If we're not talking about them winning 3 in a row going into that Spurs game on Sunday, there is a problem, especially with the emergence of Zion Williamson last game and the fact that he's going to be back to full strength. So as I see it today, on this August 6th, 9:11 a.m. here in Baton Rouge, I think right now what is most likely, I still feel like Portland probably ends up at the 8. And then I feel like the winner of Spurs Pellies on Sunday will actually end up as that 9 seed. However, that only comes into play if you take care of business today and if you take care of business tomorrow. And when you look at this Sacramento Kings team, they are going through some Grizzly-like time of their own. They lost to Dallas in overtime on Tuesday. When you combine that with losing to the Spurs off the bat, 129-120, losing to the Magic, bad Magic team, 132-116, they are now 0-3 in the bubble. So this is a Kings team that hasn't just lost, but in some scenarios they've lost to lesser teams. Like at least the Pelicans things are what you could call defendable losses or quality losses, if you will. Bottom line, the Pelicans are a better team, okay? And they got to look to pick up where they left off, because don't forget, many moons ago when this thing all went to crap and when everything got canceled, it was a big game against the Kings that was on the docket that night. And thus far right now, this year, in the one time they matched up, the Pels won a close one, 117-115. Overall, if you look at the last couple of years, they beat the Kings 3 games in a row. You want to extend that to 5 games in a row in this bubble, given that you're going to play them twice. So we'll see tonight, Pelly's Kings, not even tonight, 12:30. Sports during the day if you're into that sort of thing. If you want some distraction at work, say you're working, get the alt tab ready, bring up the stream, whatever you got to do. Midday sports are here for you. So a really big day for the Pelicans. They continue that march towards the A seed. All right, when we get back, we'll talk some football here on OTBOT.
OTBOT. Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
Hello?
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up?
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the need.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. So join us 3 to 6 for Thursday's AFR, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, Doe? TB, OT, welcome back. Got a few football stories here. There's no real rhyme or reason to this football segment. I just have a kind of grab bag of different things that piqued my interest on the internet, both in the NFL and college football. Before we get there, speaking of things that piqued my interest, Alan Bell of Alan Bell 247 tweeted about a new podcast that is launching with Mark Paul Gosselaar, or I guess I've never really known how to say his last name. Gosselaar?
I thought it was Gosselaar.
There you go.
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
I probably put a little extra flourish on it that didn't need to be there. Of course, Mark Paul Gosselaar is who?
Zach Morris.
Yes. So you're a Saved by the Bell fan.
Yeah, I watched 6 hours of Saved by the Bell the other day, actually, last week.
Wow. Okay.
I found it on TV, and I was like, yep, it's happening.
Okay, Muzo, this is, I did not even realize this then. This is your P1 then. You are what you're going to want to listen to this. So there is a new podcast. Mark Paul Gosselaar is launching a new podcast. Apparently, he has not watched a single episode of Saved by the Bell since he filmed the show 25 years ago. Has not watched any, has not gone back, never broken the seal, he says. He is now launching a new podcast called Zach to the Future, which there's a chef's kiss there of a title. But he's going to watch the show in real time and discuss his memories of filming and like behind the scenes and the iconic moments. So if you're a Saved by the Bell fan and you want that little extra, if you're like me and you love like behind the scenes making of stuff, go check that out. Zach to the Future. Are you into it?
I'd listen to that, yeah.
I'd
watch that,
I will give it one cursory listen.
Yeah, I would.
I'm not going to promise him to be there for every Zach to the Future episode, but there's enough there to probably rope me in for a bit. Like I said, I love behind the scenes stuff. Right now, I am enthralled with the making of Frozen 2 that Disney has on Disney Plus right now. It is a fascinating look. They have over 70 animators on each character. We might even talked about this, or like some of the best songs, like Show Yourself, right? A real showstopper it ended up being. I think it was up in the air just like a few months before the movie came out. So if you're into that sort of thing, also go check out. I think it's called Into the Unknown, actually, the making of Frozen 2. Now, in terms of football stories that stood out to me yesterday, over there in Tuscaloosa, there was some news. As not to be outdone by Bo Pelini, Steve Sarkisian, the Alabama offensive coordinator, got a raise of $850,000. What that means is Steve Sarkisian will now be taking home $2.5 million per year. I don't know why I feel like this is so ridiculous, because quite frankly, if you look at Sark's tenure at Alabama, he's been really damn good, maybe besides when he got thrown in last second when the Lane to Sark switch happened and they ended up losing the Natty, but like he's been good, right? I mean, Tua was good, and when Mac Jones came in, the offense did good. The offense wasn't the issue last year. That said, I'm going to trust my instincts here. And I'm also going to trust my blind hate of Alabama. And I'm just going to say that this is ridiculous, and there's no way that Steve Sarkisian should be making $2.5 million a year to coordinate. Also, it should be noted that that's probably, if you just look at the coaching turnover that Nick Saban goes through, that's arguably the only way that Saban could keep somebody around, is kind of slapping the golden handcuffs on him. But okay, then let's play this game though. What's a bit crazier though? Bo Pelini coming from Youngstown State and making that $2.5 million, or Sark getting $2.5 million?
Bo hasn't been a defensive coordinator in a while.
That's very true.
So I mean, I think I would actually kind of lean towards Bo there, but you also have seen his track record. He won a national championship as a defensive coordinator in major college football. and did very well as a head coach at Nebraska and Youngstown State. So it does stand to reason to pay him that much as well. But Sark's had success as an offensive play caller.
Yes.
I mean, I don't.
The correct answer there is screw Alabama. Of course, Bo Pelini's worth it, and Steve Sarkisian is not. No, look, there is a real conversation we had there. It is fascinating how Pelini got that money, but you also got to remember nobody's getting this money in a vacuum, right? So, like, the reason why Pelini was able to command that much is because there was interest in him. He had leverage. He impressed LSU to the point where they felt like they had to have that guy. But then if I'm Sark's agent, I'm doing the same thing. I see a guy who's been a head coach at Youngstown State for the last few years get $2.5 million. I'm going to my agent. I'm saying, wait, I've been doing this. Look at the numbers we've been putting up. You're going to tell me I shouldn't get $2.5 million for coordinating? Good on you, Sark. That can buy a lot of beer. In other college football news, Jim Harbaugh and Ryan Day getting a little chippy with each other. Went over this story during headlines, I believe. But the Big Ten coaches were on a conference call. Ryan Day was talking. Harbaugh interrupts because, of course, he does. He starts calling about Ohio State. They're working with the coaches on the field. They're breaking rules. He talks about a picture and a coach that they have. And Ryan Day then interrupts him and says, how about I worry about my team and you worry about yours? And as I said earlier, I love that for a couple of reasons. I love that because it just goes to show you how, yes, absolutely, Ohio State's breaking the rules. He didn't defend that at all. He just said, I'm the alpha and I can do that and you cannot, so shut up and know your role, which essentially Jim Harbaugh, he can't really respond to. 0-5 against Ohio State. Outscored 118 to 66 the last two times. But here's why I bring this all up again. Jim Harbaugh, 2-11 in his last 13 games against top 10 teams. That's in the last 5 years when he's been in Michigan. 2-11. Man, imagine that being your coach. A .440 winning percentage against top 25 teams. You know who doesn't suck against good teams? Your head coach, Ed Orgeron. How about this? Since he's been at LSU, 17-6 against top 25 teams, 12-3 against top 10 teams, which is a number that is just the height of absurdity. Like even honestly, even against top 25 teams, Harbaugh's .440 winning percentage isn't horrendous, right? I mean, top 25 teams should be something akin to a coin flip in the math of it. So the fact that Orgeron is 12-3 against top 10 teams while at LSU is absurd. And even if you take out, 7-0 last year, I believe, even if you take that out, you're 5-3, which is pretty absurd in and of itself to have a winning record like that against top 10 teams. So yeah, Coach O definitely not suffering from the same issues as Jim Harbaugh. How about this? Even if we factor in his terrible time at Ole Miss, he still has the third best winning percentage against top 10 teams in the SEC. He would check in at 13-11, which 13 wins, big time. Kirby then comes in at 8-4, not as many wins, but a higher win percentage. And then this is where, you got to give credit where credit's due. Nick Saban, can you guess his record against top 10 teams at Alabama?
Just at Alabama or Alabama and LSU?
You know what? I guess you're right. I guess it is Alabama and LSU. So it's going to be tough. It's 30-11. You talk about like things that are mathematical outliers, right? We said that going 50% against top 10 teams would be a huge success. This dude is 30-11. He's won. He's won 75% of his top 10 games. But you know what? One of those losses last year to the Tigers. Moving on to the NFL, a story that I found very funny. So Sean Payton's talked a lot about being prepared, right? Trying to get the edge on coronavirus, and that whoever handles it the best is quite frankly going to give themselves a huge advantage in the league this year. And talks about personal responsibility, being professional, right? We talked about Colorado State earlier and how it sounds like maybe those coaches, in an effort to drill home the importance of it, were saying like, hey, well, if you get sick, you may lose your job. Like we can't help it. It just is what it is. And so maybe guys won't go out and stuff, right? Well, John Gruden came up with his own plan to try to convince the Las Vegas Raiders of the seriousness of the situation, as John Gruden straight up tricked his team in a team meeting of thinking that he had been hospitalized with coronavirus. They got together for a team meeting. A different coach opened up the meeting, and they went through this whole spiel about, Coach Gruden's sick, man. You got to be careful. Can have it at any time. Well, come to find out, John Gruden is not sick at all. It's just one of those incredible on-the-nose motivational tactics that football coaches love so much. I got two questions. The first off, or I guess I got a question, Colin. My question is, how did he reveal that he was not sick, right? If he didn't pop out and be like, surprise, I'm here. It's me. I got y'all. Then I feel like that's a bit of a wasted opportunity. Or maybe they got out to the practice field and he's sitting there with his Chucky grin, whistling mouth, hey, you thought I was sick. So I don't know what went down there. But this also does remind me of something. And before you think I'm being too dismissive of Gruden's technique here, this stuff can work. I remember a coach at LSU one time tricked us into thinking, a football team's comprised of 118 to 22-year-old college-aged males. That can be a group that has a high libido. They can be a bit inappropriate, especially in a camp setting where maybe they have not interacted with females in a while. And quite frankly, things get a little disrespectful, right? And so, you have some girls in the program, et cetera, et cetera. Well, one day, one of our coaches tricked us into thinking that we were getting sued for sexual assault, and brought us in the office and set us down. It was man, look, this is what's happening, and it's because those jokes on the bus and blah blah blah. And it was freaky, dude. It was freaky. I'm not gonna lie, I was shook. And then it wasn't true. Just like Gruden wasn't hospitalized, we were indeed not being sued for sexual assault. But I cannot argue with the efficacy of the lesson because it stuck with me. And I can actually speak to it. I felt like after that moment that the team was way more respectful and way more in line in those situations. So who knows? Do your thing, Gruden. Maybe the Raiders end up being one of the teams that is least affected by all of this madness. All right, when we get back here on OTBOT, we're going to go to the NBA bubble as we talk to Sean Kelly, voice of, or I guess, no, he's not the voice of the Pelicans anymore. I think he works for the NBA as a whole now. Excellent play-by-play man. We'll learn what it's like to be boots on the ground quarantine among the world's biggest stars here on OTB.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder, Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
On the next edition of Game Time, we got all kinds of action as Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz talk some PGA, MLB, NBA, and more. We'll be at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay. Big news here. Big news. Big news. We'll get to it after Sean, but chip on your shoulder may actually be a potato chip. We're not 100% sure. Can somebody look up what year potato chips were invented? That'll give us some insight into this. But right now, I want to dive into the NBA bubble. I want to live vicariously through the man that we are welcoming on next. Of course, you know him. You love him, Sean Kelly, at Sean Kelly Live on Twitter. Used to be with the Pelicans. Now he works for ESPN Radio, does it all, college football, basketball, NBA, NFL, MLB. It doesn't matter. He does it all. Sean, thank you so much for joining us live from Orlando today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be with you.
So, look, I want to make this, I want to check in with you every week. You know, I want to check in with you, see just what life in the bubble is like. As I understand it right now, you are still just fully quarantined in your room. How long will that continue?
I'm free. I'm free now.
Oh, you're free?
Which is a great thing. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's like two different kinds of bubbles here. So there's the bubble that the players and the coaches and the officials are in. That would be like tier one. And you can't go near them. They can't go near you. And then a lot of us broadcasters or the crew tech guys and all that are in this next tier. So we're on the campus, but we're kind of on the edge of the campus. And when we go to the arena, we go into a separate entrance. You go straight to your broadcast booth, and you can't go down to the floor. You have to stay 30 feet away from, players, coaches, officials, and then you come back to your hotel. You can go out and play golf. You can, go in the pool. You can do all that kind of stuff, but you can't go off site to like the grocery store or to a restaurant, that kind of a thing. So it's restrictive, but not quite as restrictive as maybe you've been led to believe by what you've seen on TV.
I mean, dude, did the NBA leave no stone unturned? A tiered bubble system. So actually, so are you not getting to see like are you seeing like Ben Simmons fishing and like Giannis golfing out there?
No, that's on the other side of like the Disney property. So you're right though. I mean, they have thought of everything. Like, for example, like when I go downstairs today for the first time, when you walk into the lobby, they stop you right then and there, and they take your temperature, and then they put a wristband on you, a different color for every day, so that you don't get your temperature taken 14 times. So every morning is like that. We get tested twice a week. And in our case for ESPN, it's Mondays and Thursdays, so I'll get tested again today. And when I arrived here and when I go home and then come back again, that's what you probably saw on my Twitter feed the other day was I have to come here, immediately go get tested, then immediately go to my room, and I have to stay in the room until that test result comes back, which is usually 12 to 24 hours.
Wow, man, absolutely. Wow. How long are you going to be? How long are you to be in the bubble? Are you there for the long haul?
This one's short. I'll be here through Sunday,
Okay.
and then I'll get to come home. And actually, I drove from Louisiana, so I'll make the 9-hour drive back on Sunday night, and then I'll be home for 8 or 9 days or so, and then I'll come back. And when I come back on that one, T-Bob, I'll be here for probably 3.5 weeks. That second run.
So before we get into the actual basketball, I do have to ask you one more question about your setup, Sean, because being the veteran that you are, it seems like you pulled some vet moves. I saw an air fryer in your hotel room. I also saw a sous vide with some ribs that you had already smoked. What's going on culinarily in Sean Kelly's hotel room?
Well, because I drove, I was able to bring gear. That was the best move of all. So I've got the big igloo cooler, and as you said, there was some stuff that I had done on the smoker the other day before I left, and I was wondering how to reheat it. And so just going through the kitchen, I saw the box of the sous vide thing, which never gets used. And I was like, I wonder if this would reheat the barbecue. And so, of course, the internet comes in handy. And I researched, and sure enough, it does. And it's worked out great. So I have reheated barbecue with the sous vide. I have the air fryer, as you said. We'll do some cauliflower in that today and some other stuff. So far, so good. I haven't had to lay out, hundreds of dollars every day for food at the hotel. I'm beating the system, big boy.
John, did you ever play O-line back in the day? Because as an O-line man, I applaud you. Okay, your priority list is spot on. Let's talk about priorities though, because when you look at this New Orleans Pelicans team, their priority is to win today, 12:30 versus the Kings. Rough start for the Pelly, Sean, but it feels like since that low moment Saturday against the Clippers, everything's been coming up New Orleans.
Yeah, and and when I looked at the schedule for them, I thought, look, those are the two games that are going to give them the most problems, those first two games. I was really hoping that they would maybe beat the Jazz in the opener. That was the game I thought that if they're going to steal one, that would be the one to take.
Yeah.
I didn't like their chances against the Clippers. What I really didn't like was the way they played the game. But you're right. Since they looked so flat against the Clippers, they've looked very well. And now the schedule lays out as they'd wanted it. And yes, there is no room for error in the fact that I think they have to win out. But all the games they have remaining are very winnable games, including today.
And so when you look at today's Kings matchup, from a matchup standpoint, how do you feel these two teams square up?
The Kings are always a hard read because they can shoot you right out of the building if you're not careful, and then they can just kind of go away and hide. I think for New Orleans today, I think they just simply have to do a better job of taking care of the basketball and really try not to play from behind and not let the Kings get streaky on them. So that's really what I'm looking for in today's game, and also to stay healthy. I don't think you want to have drama late in the game against these guys. I think you need to try and put them down as quickly as you can.
Yeah, demoralize them. What about the race for eighth as a whole, Sean? We've been kind of picturing it like the Hunger Games, right? You have 5 or 6 teams entering. They drop onto the island. Only one can survive. I'm ready to sound the gong on the Memphis Grizzlies. I know they're still in the 8th seed. I'm ready to declare them dead in the Hunger Games. Where do you stand on the Grizzlies' chances right now?
Yeah, I'm on the 11th floor of the hotel, and I'm looking out over Disney World here, and I'm waiting for the cannon blast. I mean, that's I'm waiting for the Grizzlies cannon blast to go off because I think they're done. I don't see it. The injury to Jackson the other day, the toughness of their schedule the rest of the way. So they're out. So I'll wait for that cannon blast to go off, and then I think it's going to be a Portland-New Orleans showdown.
Yeah.
What would that be? Not this weekend, but the next weekend in the play-in. So that's kind of how I see it. Now, look, I could be very wrong. Phoenix has surprised some people, but if New Orleans wins out and Portland keeps playing like they are, I think those are the two teams that will play for that final spot.
What do you make of Popovich and the Spurs? Because like you said, I'm with you on Portland and New Orleans, and then the Spurs and Suns are just they're intriguing at this point. Probably more so the Suns, but the Spurs, they come out 2 big wins early on, 2 really close losses. Are you still factoring the Spurs into that mix?
No, only because I think in this game of control your own destiny, I think the Pelicans can beat them on Sunday afternoon, and then that would push the Spurs down below both Portland and New Orleans. The Spurs are a little gimmicky right now with the way they're playing. You know, they don't have their full complement, so they're trying a few things. I think it surprised some people early here in Orlando. And Phoenix, they're kind of a half game. They're just on the edge. They'll need somebody to lose one, and that's why I say, like New Orleans has to win out, because you lose one time, and then you really open the door for Phoenix and maybe even San Antonio. But as long as New Orleans, stays out in front of those guys by taking care of the softest part of their schedule coming up, that's why I'm looking at the play-in like I am.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's literally the entire year has been building up to this soft part of the schedule. So you were waiting for it right before the shutdown. You are now finally here. You have to go take care of business. Let's assume you do, and it comes down to Pelly's Blazers. A lot of people will look at the 4-0 mark that the Pelicans put up against the Blazers this year, but with the return of Collins and Nurkic, is that just all out the window? Like, any of that matter? Any of that factor in the postseason?
You mean the prior results?
Yes. The fact that the Pelicans swept them 4-0 during the year
makes no difference now. I mean, that was A, it was so long ago, but B, you pointed out the most important thing, and that's their strength in the low post. When you have those guys back, they're just a different team, and it allows McCollum and Lillard to run free on that perimeter now. And so Portland's a much different team. I still think it'd be a fascinating matchup. And look, if Portland were to end up being the 8th seed, I think a Lakers Trailblazers round 1 series would be fascinating too. So I mean, look, it's no secret that I'm pulling for the Pelicans because I spent so much of my lifetime with them, and that's our hometown team. But I would be okay if Portland was the 8th seed to take on those guys from Los Angeles. So I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah, to be clear, Sean has gone big time now. He covers all the games for ESPN because he is so talented. Well, now I just have to ask because it's something that I'm curious about. I know it's a very national question, but are Lakers last 2 games? Lakers have been such an odd up and down kind of story here. Anthony Davis dominates one night, doesn't the next. Offense, and they scored like 86? I mean, I felt like I was watching The Last Dance again. What's going on with the Lakers offense right now? You have any concerns?
Only in that Rondo's not back just yet. And I still think the Avery Bradley situation for them hurts them defensively. And otherwise, I'm not real concerned. They've got a lot going for them. And look, watching Anthony's up and downs is like watching Anthony Davis's entire career. I mean, how many times do we see him hang 40 on somebody and then disappear a night later? It's happened before. You can't deny, though, he's still a top 5 player in the league. And they also still have a very healthy and, I guess, focused LeBron James right now. So there's a reason why they clinched it, and there's a reason why they're the number 1 seed in the West. And until the Clippers kind of get their act together, I'm not so sure they're as much of a threat as one believed they would be a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, there you go. Sean Kelly at Sean Kelly Live on Twitter. Sean will continue to check in with you throughout this process if you are cool with that. Thank you so much for joining us from Orlando today.
My pleasure.
Oh,
Thanks,
what games are you going to be calling? What's your schedule look like? Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Let's see. I have Celtics Raptors on Friday.
Nice.
I have Bucks Mavericks on Saturday. And I have Pelicans Spurs on Sunday afternoon.
Hey, oh, perfect. Look for your boy on the virtual fan screen Sunday afternoon, okay? I don't know what the NBA restrictions are, but I'm trying to wear a Wizard costume with a Zion Williamson jersey on. So we'll see.
Oh, I will snap a picture.
Yes.
When you come up.
Oh, that made me so happy. Sean Kelly, thank you so much. You have a great day, man.
You too. Take care.
All right, when we get back, we'll close out today's show. OTB. Send you off into the great wild here of another Thursday.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. So join us 3 to 6 for Thursday's AFR, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTBOT. Major developments on the chip front. We're low on time, so we have to dive into this. We clowned a Texas coach earlier for talking about chip on your shoulder, saying not just a chip, it's a whole bag, saying it's ridiculous. There's no way it could be potato chips. We learned that we don't really know what it's referring to. I've looked up the origins on Wikipedia. It goes back to an 1830 newspaper article in the Long Island Telegraph where it says, quote, when two churlish boys were determined to fight, a chip would be placed on the shoulder of one and the other demanded to knock it off at his peril. In a later December article in 1830, a person who was writing about wanting somebody to fight him, but wanting to get around the law, he's kind of talking about need him to throw the first punch. He says, oh, if only I could get him to knock a chip off my shoulder and so get around the law, I would give him one of the soundest thrashings he's ever had. There's also another 1855 article in which a fighter is described as having a chip on his shoulder and daring Bush to knock it off. So here's the deal. Okay, so it is a literal chip on your shoulder that somebody's supposed to invade your space in and knock it off. Is it a potato chip? We looked up the historical origins of potato chips. Does it line up with that 1830 date? When was the potato chip invented, Matthew Musso?
Well, there's a lot of conflicting reports, T-Bob. The origins of the potato chip, no one can agree on it, but I found three. One of them involves a New York chef and Cornelius Vanderbilt in 1885. That's wildly disputed because Vanderbilt wasn't even in the country at the time the incident happened. There's another one, 1849, with a U.S. woman named Eliza. No one agrees on that. This one, however, British physician William Kitchener, who's a medical doctor, wrote The Cook's Oracle in 1822, and in it contained a recipe for potatoes fried in slices and shavings, called them to be sliced a 1/4 inch thick, fried in lard dripping until they were crisp, and they should be left to cool and sprinkled with salt.
I mean, that's a potato chip.
That's a potato chip.
That is 1,000%.
1822.
Okay. Now,
that's what I'm going with.
Now. Lest we get ahead of ourselves. Okay. 1822. Article shows up in 1830. The question now becomes, and it was in England when that book was written.
There you go.
Okay, so the question becomes, by the time 1830 came around, were potato chips ubiquitous enough across the Atlantic? Like, had they made their way over to America to the extent to where somebody writing this article that people understood that it was a potato chip on its shoulder? I don't know that we have a great answer on that yet. It could be. I mean, that definitely sounds like a potato chip was absolutely invented in 1822. That sounds delicious, actually, in the lard and the salt. Like, my mouth's kind of watering. I still have my doubts if it's a literal potato chip. I want to know what you think. Go on the Off the Bench Twitter right now, OTB_ESPN, poll question. Does the phrase chip on your shoulder refer to a literal potato chip? Hopefully we'll have some answers by tomorrow. These are the important questions you come to OTBOT for. Thank you to Danny Cardenas. Thank you to Matthew Musso, Jordy Collada, and all of our wonderful listeners, viewers, everybody else. Share it if you like it. We love you. We'll see you later.
OTB, OT.
At All Star Toyota,